a while. Okay,
We haven't
we're live
streamed
now.
in a while. We haven't had a live stream in like a month.
Yeah, it has been a month. It hasn't been. Nobody else has really had time for it.
Yeah.
But today we're going to talk about the Halloween franchise. Actually, I was wondering with you, Derek, do you want to do like your ranking first, like of the franchise? Like, would you want to do that and then talk about the movies?
I don't know. I was thinking like maybe we just go in like release date order and talk
Okay.
about it in release date order, and then say where we rank that one like when we're done talking about it.
Okay, that works. Yeah. So let's start. Let's see if anybody's even here yet. I don't know if anybody's here yet.
You might want to post in at least a couple places before we get started. We're actually starting on time, which is impressive for us too.
Yep. Let me post the link. Copy the link.
I advertised a little bit.
Oh, good. Yeah, I forgot to because I've just been so busy until today. So.
A little bit.
Oh, good. Did you see Lee's? Did you see that Lee said he's in the car? I don't know if that means he is going to do it or not.
I take it that means he's not going to do it. Everybody's been so busy lately. It's been hard to get a stream together.
Okay. Oh, we got somebody. Oh, no, I guess that's me, the one person.
Even if people don't watch it live, they can always go back and watch it later.
You know, whenever I did that one live stream for Final Destination, that kept getting watches after the fact that I did it. Like,
well, that's how I am sometimes. Like, sometimes I'll go back and I'll watch the live stream like after the fact, because you know sometimes you're just busy during that time frame and you just can't go and watch it, but you want to see it still.
Yeah, and working at night, it sucks because there's a lot of streams I want to watch. Like, it's perfect timing for Drew's streams because he does it right whenever I close my store, so I can just watch it while I'm doing stuff after it's closed.
Yeah.
So I at least didn't watch his, but like 3B has his stuff at like 8 o'clock, and I wish I was off to watch him, but I haven't been able to.
Okay, so Colton's here. So hey, Colton.
Hey, Colton.
At least we got one person watching. No, I'm sure there'll be. I'm sure there'll be more. You know what cracks me up? How you and Drew are always talking about The Last Jedi.
Yeah, we have the exact opposite. I love it and he hates it. Like I seriously love it and he just despises it. Like I've never
it too. It sits in the bottom of my franchise ranking right now.
Yeah. It's just so funny how we have the exact opposite, but like at least we both like can see with each opinion. We don't like shit on each other. It's like, oh, I don't like it or I like it. So I appreciate that. Since Colton's here, did you watch Drew's last stream? Like for American Werewolf in London, like the live stream?
I haven't got a chance yet, but I love that movie.
It was really funny because Colton was putting a lot of funny like top fives because like since Drew does all his top fives, we just kept putting top fives on the list. And one of mine was like top 5 times Allison says grandmother in Halloween 2018. And like Colton did one where it's like top 5 times someone drinks orange juice in a horror movie or something.
We're talking about like Thrill Me Thursday topics.
Yeah, They're just saying like top 5s. And then there was like one, it was like top 5 like DVD cases or something like silly like that. Like Colton like The Last Jedi, I guess, too, because he says that in the chat. But I'm glad,
I always like those really divisive movies that are like people just like absolutely love it or just absolutely hate it. Yeah. Which is weird because me and you agree on episode 3.
Oh yeah, that's my favorite one out of all of them. That's my favorite Star Wars movie. So,
if I had to make a list of like top 10 movies that I think are really good that people always have really bad arguments that are bad, I would put Star Wars Episode 3 would be one of the ones on that list.
Yeah, I agree on that.
Because I don't have like a lot of people say they don't like it, but I don't really hear like good, like solid reasons. Elm Street Part 4 is another one I feel that way too. Like a lot of people say it's bad, but I don't hear really good reasons against it.
It's weird with Elm Street 4. I don't think it's bad at all, but I just don't love it. I think it's fine. It's like halfway down in my rankings, I'd say. Like if I ranked them, it'd be like halfway down, I bet. Because like the first three in New Nightmare, I love the most. So
it would be the second or third one I would put in if I'm watching one. 3 would be my top choice, and then it would be a toss up. I think 1's the better movie, but like 4 would be the second or third one that I would choose to watch.
Mm-hmm.
New Nightmare is really good, but like New Nightmare doesn't really have like the fun factor for me that Part 4 has. Part 4 just has fun characters and like fun dream sequences, and Freddy's stupid as hell and everything else.
Yeah. And it just depends on each franchise, because Friday 5 is my favorite because that's the most entertaining for me. I honestly think
Friday 5 is super entertaining.
Honestly, I'd watch it over Part 4, and everyone says 4 is the best. And I love 4, but I'd watch 5 over it, honestly.
Yeah, that's another movie. Friday 5. People who say it's bad always have, like, I don't ever hear good arguments. It's always like, oh, it's not Jason. I hear that one.
That's always the argument. Yeah, I
heard people say the characters are bad. I was like, what movie are you watching if you think the characters are bad?
And it's Friday 5. It's literally just Jason again, because like what he does is what Jason does, like the superhuman stuff he does.
You don't even know that it's not Jason until like the last 5 minutes of the movie. Yeah, I hate the twist, but like it doesn't ruin the movie for me.
Mm-hmm. I don't hate the twist, but like I can see why people would though. But yeah, I feel like it's just people shit on it too much. Halloween 3 as well is another one where it's like,
ooh, I can't wait to talk about that one because I don't love Halloween 3. I'm kind of like Halloween 3, like you are Trick or Treat. Like,
oh yeah,
you know how you were like everybody loves this movie, and then I just like it. That's how I am with Halloween 3. Like, I don't hate it, but like I don't love it as much as everybody else does.
I felt so bad to say that in the chat that I didn't love Trick or Treat because Drew was just like, "What? You don't love it? What?" Like it was so
I don't understand like that. People had talked it up into being like the best movie ever, and I think I gave it like a B grade, and that was being kind of generous. Like I feel like I was disappointed compared to like how people had hyped it up.
I actually did think it was pretty boring, like for the first hour. Like, and I usually don't say that, but
you really never say that because you always get on to me for saying that.
Yeah.
It was really boring the first. I literally almost fell asleep because that's when I was sick and I was watching it.
I just couldn't I couldn't pay full attention to it like the first hour for some reason. And again, I'm not usually like that, but I just didn't really care. Yeah. I mean, it was okay, but like the ending was good. The ending was fun, but and it was unique too. It was a unique horror movie that people should see. It's just one that I didn't love. I liked it, but I didn't love it.
It just needed to get to the point. I think it was a 2-hour runtime. I think it easily could have been squeezed down to an hour and a half. They needed to get to the point because once they got to the point, it was really good. But like, it just took too long to get to where it needed to be.
I think it was only an hour and a half, though. I think.
Are you sure? I thought it was like 2 hours.
I don't know. Let me look it up. But I thought. Yeah. Maybe I'm thinking of another movie because I watched 31 new movies this month. So
I'm really against long run times.
Hour and 38 minutes.
Oh, okay. It felt like 2 hours though.
It did feel really long.
Dang, yeah. It felt like 2 hours. I swear to God.
It did, but there's some 3-hour movies that I could watch and never feel like they're that long. Like Avengers or King Kong, like I could watch those and never feel bored. For me, I know you think Avengers you got bored at, but like, are there any longer movies you can watch that you don't really get bored at?
I don't think there's really any movie that's like over 2 hours. I still like it, but I feel like any movie that's over 2 hours, like it could be cut down. Like, I don't know. Like I'm really against like having more than a 2 hour run time. for a movie. Not to say I still don't like movies that have long run. Like I still liked Midsummer. I still liked Endgame. But for both those movies, I think there was room to trim stuff off and shorten up.
Yeah.
I'm big about pacing. Like pacing is something that's really important to me. Pacing and the gore are like probably the two most important things to me when I watch something.
It just depends on what kind of movie it is, honestly. Like there's, like I said, there's some movies I never get bored watching. They're like 3 hours long. Like Lord of the Rings too. I can watch those and never really get bored. But there's some hour-and-a-half movies like Trick or Treat where I was like the first hour I did get kind of bored. So
are we gonna actually get into the topic of this?
I was thinking about that. I was like, we're talking a little bit about not how.
I mean, I haven't really got to talk to you that much because you haven't been able to do streams in a while, and I've been so I haven't been in like the group chat a lot lately. Today's this week's like the first time I really felt like myself in a week because I had strep and bronchitis at the same time, so I was miserable for like a week.
Oh, real quick, I'm gonna say thanks, Colton, for that comment. I'm gonna put it on there. He just says he's always a big fan and supporter, so I just wanted to say
he always supports, both our channels and our streams and everything. We appreciate you tuning in.
I love his picture too.
Yes.
Did I tell you? I know we're going to talk about Halloween in a minute, but did I tell you that whenever I went to that con, I saw Sid Haig there, but I didn't meet him? Like, I actually saw him, like, walking around.
Didn't he just pass?
Yeah, he just passed, like, a couple months ago, but, like, I was there in the summer at that con, and I saw him, and he looked really, really rough. Like, he was skinny as a board, and he, like, barely walked, and I should have went up there, but it was just so busy. Like, he had a line through the roof the whole time, like him and Tobin Bell. You can never, like, get...
God, I would love to meet Tobin Bell in person. Oh, my God.
Well, I went to his panel, and, like, I listened to him and Shawnee Smith talk, and they talked for, like, 30 or 40 minutes, and they were really cool.
I bet. Oh, my God. I bet.
Yeah. Oh, Robbie just said, I can't join tonight. Just got home. Try the next one. Okay, cool.
Thanks for tuning in, Robbie.
Yep. Okay, let's start Halloween. Let's
talk about the original, but let's not spend too much time on it.
And I said before since we only have two people, it's not going to be that long either anyways. But just I really do love it. And I think, like, if you were doing it on entertainment and rewatchability, where would you put it? Like, out of all of them?
I would still give it an A. It's like the exception to the rule. Like, I think it's technically a slow burn, but it's done so well. Like, I never feel like I'm bored ever watching it. Like, I feel like the pacing is just good the entire movie because Michael Myers is always there, always stalking her. They got the bush scene, the scene where he's sitting about like the clothesline. Like, I don't think there's a moment that's boring. Like, to me, Halloween 78 is not a slow burn. So, I think the pacing is really good.
Now I'm going to ask this because whenever we talk about 2018, I'm not going to mention it, but this is related to that. So did you think it's weird that in 2018, like at the end of the first one, they say he just disappeared, he's gone, and then in 2018 they're like, oh, we caught him like a minute after the movie ended. Did you notice that in 2018?
I didn't really like that, honestly, because I felt
that was weird.
I mean, I guess
it kind of undermined the ending of the first one.
Well, I mean, he could have wandered off, and then they could have captured him. But I think they needed a way to have him have. They didn't want to have to refilm, because if you try to refilm and recreate that setting, that would have been really hard to do, and I don't think they wanted to risk that.
Well, they are doing a flashback scene in that one, so
maybe we'll get to see it.
Yeah, it might be this time, but
get captured or whatever.
Mm-hmm. So with characters in the original one, do you think they're one of the best characters, like this group of characters in that movie, like to the other films?
I don't love the characters, but I don't really hate them either. They're they're just kind of there for me. I don't really love Jamie Lee Curtis's performance in the first movie. I think she's just okay.
Controversy.
I think she's better. I think she's more interesting in 2018 and in H2O.
Yeah.
I think she's just okay. I think she's a little bit slightly overrated as a final girl, at least in the first movie, because I was watching this with Taylor and Taylor noticed it too. Like she was kind of lucky to survive because like she keeps either putting the knife down and or turning her back to Michael Myers. So she may, but it doesn't bother me because I know that wasn't a cliche at that time when the movie was made. But like she's not like the strongest final girl ever, at least not in the first movie. But like she's not bad either. What do you think about the characters?
Yeah, the characters, if I like had to choose between any of the films, like I liked how simple they were. I like the simple characters. I like the performances. Jamie Lee Curtis, I do like her in it, but yeah, she does have more of an emotional range in like H2O or 2018. But I do really like all the characters. Like Annie and Linda are really funny. Just they've got such memorable personalities that you still quote to this day, like with Totally, or when Annie says like "Poor Lori, let another one get away." Like lines like that are so funny, and I really love them in the movie. So and of course Loomis and Brackett are great as well.
Oh my God, Donald Pleasance! But I don't even think this is Donald Pleasance's best performance. I think Donald Pleasance at his best in Halloween 4, honestly.
Yeah, and he's not in the first one as much. Like he is in it, but I feel like he's got more of a presence in 4 and 5.
Yeah.
Like he's way more in it than because this one it's like it's more about the girls like doing their own thing, and then he comes at the end at the beginning of the movie. So
I will give you a negative though for this movie. So nobody will ever say this. Nobody will ever give the original Halloween negatives. It's my favorite in the franchise. It's like top 5 favorite horror movies of all time for me. But the kills and the gore are negative in that movie. Like, and I don't like, especially when Annie gets killed. That kill is like laughable. It's like almost Arbogast level bad. Like Taylor was watching it and she laughed. Like when
I don't laugh at it.
Like when he's choking her and then he cut her and Taylor was like, "Did he just cut her throat?" Like she didn't know, and I was like, "Yeah," and she was like, "That was terrible." I was like, "I know, I really hate that kill."
For me, I just with those kind of things that you like think are funny, I never really thought they're funny until you point them out, and then I'm like, oh, I could see why, but I still don't.
Well, it's like the throat cut looks kind of fake, and then her reaction is really like cheesy. And I know they could do good gore because you had Alice, Sweet Alice, and you had some other stuff in the 70s. Like they could do gore, but I know that wasn't the intent. Like I know that wasn't. The Bob kill is really good, but then the Linda kill is kind of, I don't know, like he strangles her, but I don't know, it still comes off as a little bit cheesy to me. The sister kill's really good at the beginning, though.
It's definitely a movie where these people are probably in their first movie, or a lot of them are. Like Jamie Lee Curtis, that was her first movie, and then I bet the girls, I don't know if they did much before that either. So I could see why people think it's kind of funny. But I still think it has its charm to it.
But it's not a Friday the 13th movie. Like the kills are secondary. It's about the story, and I understand that, but I'm still going to say that because it's pacing and gore, like the top 2 things I look for. So I do notice that. But that doesn't change the fact that it's still not pretty much a flaw. It's the best in the franchise for I don't know hardly anybody who says the original isn't the best in the franchise.
I was going to say, Colton, are you still here? Because Colton might have a controversial opinion.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I think he said the original is not his favorite.
Yeah, I think it's like one of his lesser ones, I think. Because I think Resurrection might – I don't know if he was joking. Maybe that was his number 1 or something.
I'll tell you this, though. It wasn't my favorite for the longest time. Like, the original wasn't my favorite when I was younger. It's like I was more of a Friday the 13th guy, and I didn't appreciate, like, slower movies, especially when I was younger. That's more of, like, within the last 5 years or so, 5 years, maybe a little bit longer, I've appreciated, like, the slow burns more. Because I used to remember I would always watch, I was like, this movie's boring. you know, and I thought it was boring a lot when I was younger. So I could see where, like, if you show it to someone who's younger, like more today's generation, I think a lot of them wouldn't appreciate the movie. Like, this would trigger you. They did a newscast at my school, and they were interviewing students and asking them what their favorite horror movies were to watch.
Oh, no.
And, like, nobody said the original Halloween, and they interviewed, like, 50 people. They were saying, like, there were some good choices in there. People were saying, like, It, of course, but some people named the classics. Like, they were naming, like, Nightmare on Elm Street, but nobody said Halloween 7. No one said any of the Halloween movies, surprisingly enough.
Let me just say, Big D's here. Welcome, Big D.
Big D, what's up?
But yeah, I was wondering if they were gonna say something like the Bye Bye Man or something. Like, have you seen the Bye Bye Man?
No. Be quiet, because in case John Kyle Stanton is listening, I don't want you giving him an idea. Oh, isn't he? Hold on, doesn't he support you on Patreon too?
Yeah.
So now you suggest stuff, you're gonna have to suffer too.
Well, he recommended me a movie I've never heard of called Pontypool, and it's a horror movie. I don't know anything about it, but he recommended that for this month's Patreon thing, so I'll have to watch it. I don't even know what that is. Have you heard of that? Pontypool?
No.
Okay.
John Kyle Stanton watches, like, a lot of obscure horror, because he's asked me about, like, a lot of more obscure movies.
Yeah. Oh, Colton says, the original Halloween is the most overrated horror movie to me. Middle tier of the franchise. Favorite is Halloween 2. Okay, I'll go with that. I'm fine.
Colton, tell us what you think is kind of bad about the original, because my theory would be, like, lack of gore for a lot of people would be, you know, if you're a gore hound, or, like, I don't know, characters a little bit, or just body count, like pacing is what I would see it being for a lot of people. Movie Freak, what's up?
Yeah, Movie Freak's here. Cool. He's seen Pontypool. He wasn't a big fan though. Okay, but I'll definitely see what I think about it. And Big D watched Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 yesterday. I'm gonna watch that tonight or tomorrow, because I just watched the first one again, the Rob Zombie's first Halloween again. So, and I liked it a lot on rewatch. So are we gonna go to Halloween 2 next?
In a minute. I kind of want to hear what Colton says about the original, and we're not gonna blast you, because it's kind of weird. Like, I kind of hate Halloween 78, sort of, because of, like, killer flicks. I'm like a nonconformist, so when everybody says something is amazing, it kind of makes me low-key hate it a little bit. So, like, I sort of think Halloween 78 is overrated, sort of. Like, it's my favorite in the franchise, and it's definitely top 10, probably top 5 horror movies for me. But people talk about it like it's the greatest movie ever created in the history of the world, and it has no flaws, and it's perfect. And I don't. It has its flaws. They're minor, but it does have its flaws for me.
I think, even though you love it, it's one of my absolute favorite horror movies ever. I'm with the Killer Flicks group. I'm with them, but I don't like overly being annoying about it, like that group. So, but yeah, I love the original Halloween. Ogre Boy or Robbie, I'm glad you saw The Lighthouse. I want to see that.
Was Dark Fate good? Because I know we were having a heated exchange in the comment section about that.
Oh my gosh, that was funny. Yeah, Drew was like, "Don't see it." And I was like, "I gotta now. I gotta see it now," because I think Drew saw it too. But
Colton, I actually agree with a lot of your points. They're not deal breakers for me and, like, where I rank the movie, but I kind of agree with, like, a lot of what you're saying there.
What? Okay. Oh, and I agree with you, Movie Freak. Yeah, it's definitely. You just can say it's your favorite, but people just overly harp on it. Not harp on it, overly, like, talk about it.
And it makes me want to hate it more when people talk about it all the time. Like, that's just how I am.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a movie that does that to me, but I can't think of one. But Halloween, even though I love it, it's annoying when people talk about it that much.
Oh, we love it too, Big D. And there's nothing wrong with the movie. It's how people handle the movie that annoys me.
Oh, so I feel like I'm going to be the same as Robbie. Like Dark Fate, I probably will feel like it's just like another sequel, like the other 3 that they've made after 2. Like I've never loved any Terminator sequel after the second one, so I'll probably just think it's okay.
Yeah. Let's move on to Halloween 2,
Okay.
1981.
Now remember, you got to behave.
I will. It's going to be really hard when we talk about that one part. At least Robbie's here, so he can back me up.
Oh, Robbie thinks the same way.
No, did you rewatch it this month? I rewatched Halloween. I watched Halloween 1, Halloween 2, Halloween 4 in 2018 in October.
I rewatched them all except for Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, which I'll rewatch tonight or tomorrow. And yeah, Halloween 2 is still one of my favorites. That's actually, I don't remember if I've told you this, but like that's my first Halloween movie I watched.
It's one of the first ones that I saw. It has so many positives for me. Like, I think the mask still looks good. I love the characters. I think the characters are good and they're likable for me. I love the hospital setting. The kills and the body count and the gore is amped up quite a bit. There's a lot of memorable kills, especially like when he lifts the nurse up with like the scalpel. That's like a really awesome kill. So there's pretty much no negatives for Halloween 2.
Derek, you're gonna lose it. I even laughed at this, and I don't agree.
Look what Robbie said.
Oh my god, that was great, Robbie. Oh, great! Yeah.
The hot tub kill is really awesome too. Yeah, that's like a top 10 in the franchise.
That's one of my favorites.
2 top 10 kills in the franchise for me. The hot tub kill and where he lifts the nurse up.
Yeah. No, those 2, and I'm trying to think if there's any. I really like the Alice kill at the beginning, where like he just pops out of nowhere and just gets her in the neck. I thought that was
good. That makes me jump sometimes if I forget it's coming. Like he just jumps up there. It's a
great scare. I like that one
a
lot.
Little jump scare.
I love it's a cruel thing what she's saying, but I love the line that Alice says where she's on the phone and she's like, "Oh yeah, it's Mr. Elrod. I bet he got tired of his wife and started beating her." Like it was just such a weird line. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I thought that was just really
She says
funny.
It's like so nonchalant.
Yeah. Yeah, he probably got angry and decided to start beating her. It was like, wow.
Do you know why? Do you know why he didn't kill them? He just grabbed the knife and left.
Would they outwalk him? Is that what you're gonna say?
No, I was gonna say because he saw they were watching the black and white Night of the Living Dead, and he's like, I don't want to sit through any more of this, so I'm leaving.
Oh,
just joking. I really liked the original Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah, and I told you that I watched the new one, and I still like the old one more, but I like the new one a lot too. The new one was good.
I think it was somebody. I think Drew said he likes the remake better too for Night of the Living Dead.
I think Dustin might too, or 3B might too as well.
Yeah, or Christian, one of them.
Mm-hmm.
So, what about you? Any negatives for Halloween 2? Because we'll have to talk about something in a minute.
Well, but the only thing for me is that it's like they didn't have Jamie Lee Curtis and Donald Pleasance enough at all. Because
especially Jamie Lee Curtis. Yeah. Like, there's so much missed opportunity. Like, they could have dealt with, like, her PTSD, or, like, they could have given her, like, the amount of dialogue she gets is, like, embarrassingly low in that movie.
Yeah.
And you would think, like, it would be the opposite. Like, she would get more to do than she did in, like, Halloween 78. But, like, she has even less to do in this movie.
Yeah, and it makes sense, like, that she's injured and she's just there in the hospital, but it doesn't make for a movie that has her very prevalent in the movie, like, I think. But I still do like her in the movie whenever she's in it. Like, she's just not in it as much. But the positive I can give that, even though she's not in it enough, I really love all the side characters. They're really cool 80s, like, people that get killed. Like, they're all fun characters. like Bud and Jimmy and like Nurse Karen, I think is her name. But I really like all the characters, the side characters. They make up for her not being in it as much, I think.
Loomis has like two of my favorite moments in that movie where he's like, he escalates on the neighbor for no reason. Is this some kind of joke? I've been trick or treated to death tonight. You don't know what death is. And then they have like the dramatic music. I was laughing.
Yes.
And then and then if I had to take a shot for every time Dr. Loomis says I shot him 6 times in Halloween 2, I would be like dead from alcohol poisoning. Because Dr. Loomis says that he shot him 6 times, maybe 10 times in that movie. Like, he says it so many times.
So Big D brought up a good point about Halloween 2 and how it reminds him of hospitals he's been to like years ago. And for me, I've always thought, because people complain that the hospital was so empty, but the director, Rick Rosenthal, in the commentary for Halloween 2 said like he and his wife went to a hospital at that time at night one time and it was dead like that. So like people complaining about that.
Yeah, and it's a small town. That doesn't bother me. And the pacing of the movie, I don't think the pacing in this movie is bad. Like, people say the pacing is bad, but I wasn't bored at all when I was watching it.
No, this is one of my most watchable movies ever. Like, this is probably one of the movies I've seen the most in my life, honestly. This and the first one.
To me, it's a flawless movie until he drops the nurse and he starts walking. And I will never let it go. Like, he is like not intimidating at all. Like, it's like laughable. Like, he walks so slow, and it doesn't make any sense because like any elevator would just open back up, like when you stick your knife in it like that. Like,
well, I mean, I don't think of logic in this movie though, because he gets shot in the eyes and still I can live. So
I almost posted a video in the group chat because I was watching Terminator 2, and you know the part where they're escaping from the mental hospital and the T-1000 runs to the elevator and then like uses his like hands to open it. I almost messaged you in the group chat, was like, this is what Michael Myers should have done in Halloween 2, and he would have caught Laurie. But
I would have ignored it.
It's still, I tried to watch it with an open mind, but it still bothered me the other night. Like, it still bothered me, and I think, like Robbie mentioned, the whole, like, she's never shot a gun, she shoots him in the eyes, doesn't blow his brains out, and he's swiping over there, like, blind, like, it doesn't do it for me. Like,
but the image of him with his eyes bleeding is such a cool image.
It is cool. I can't deny that it's not epic.
Yeah. I've got a friend in real life that said that too. He's like, it was so implausible. So I get why people think that.
There's just too much like that feels like plot convenience in the last act of that movie with the elevator thing, and then she can't scream for 5 minutes when she's laying on the ground, but the moment everybody walks inside, she screams, and then there's Michael Myers, and then
I like that though, because then they go in the door and she screams it really loud. I think that's cool. I like that moment.
And then the whole, like, I do like the very end, like when Dr. Loomis lights it and blows himself up, and then you have that awesome shot of Michael Myers walking out on fire. Yeah, like, that's really good. If I could just trim up a couple scenes in that movie, it would easily be the second best in the franchise. I think it sits at number 4 for me, but I think it has the argument of being number 2. Like, it's definitely got the argument.
Mine sits at number 2 on my rankings. This is number 2 for me.
Yeah, and I could definitely see that it's a really good movie.
Yeah. Do you want to go to 3 or do you want to continue on with 2?
No, I think we're good. I don't want to get myself riled up. I don't want to talk about the elevator scene anymore.
Okay, I'm glad. Let's go to Halloween 3. Season of the Witch. Now, again, like most movies that are in a franchise that doesn't have the main character, people of course hated this one whenever it came out. So do you in particular like it still, but you just think it's slow?
I think it's hard to put my finger on this because I didn't watch it this year, but I watched it last year. Like, I like Tom Atkins. I like all the characters. I like the Silver Shamrock song. I like the kills and stuff. I think when it comes down to it, it's not a slasher. It's kind of more of like a supernatural type of horror movie, and I don't really like the genre that much. Like it's not really a conventional slasher, and so like it doesn't quite hold my interest. And then like I feel like the story's just kind of a mess. Like he literally ends up explaining how they got over there. Oh, sweet Christian's here.
What's up, guys?
What's up? I totally didn't notice you were on the little thing whenever I had to add you, because like
It's all right, bro. It's all right, bro. I'm listening to Derek talk about one of my favorite movies right now. So let Derek finish up.
Yes,
you talking about Halloween 3?
Season of the Witch, baby.
Yeah, it's
one of the best.
It's a good movie, but it just doesn't have like that fun factor for me, like that a lot of Michael Myers movies has. Like it's kind of middle of the franchise for me. As I was telling Corey, it's like it's not really. It's more like a supernatural horror movie, so it just doesn't suit what I like the Michael Myers movies do.
Derek, I'll tell you what Halloween 3 does extremely well, in my opinion. And this is extremely important to me. It feels like the season of Halloween when I watch the movie.
It
does. I can't argue with that.
It feels like that way more than the original one.
You know, that's probably at the simplest my love for that movie. Is it feels like autumn, Halloween, you know, dead leaves on the ground.
Yeah.
Which is really all I can ask from a movie with the name Halloween in the title.
Kids with Halloween masks all throughout the movie.
You know, it's a quirky film. It's a very strange little film. Some people just like it because of that. And other people they just they don't get on board with it, and that's fine. You know, different strokes for different folks. I just love how strange it is. It's a quirky, strange little movie. You know.
It is.
And I love it. I love the music. I love Tom Atkins. Dan O'Hurley's just fantastic. He's great in RoboCop 2, which is also one of my favorite movies.
Hold up. What about RoboCop 2?
You said he loves it.
I said Dan O'Hurley, who is Connell Cochran. He's also the boss man in RoboCop, which is another one of my favorite movies on the planet.
Yeah, the original. I love the original RoboCop. It's like one of my top 20 favorite movies of all time. We got to do a RoboCop live stream one of these days.
Oh man, it's
well,
you know, me and Drew. Yeah, me and Drew are doing commentaries with Arrow video releases and stuff, and Arrow is getting a special edition of RoboCop late this month. Wow. It's one of those big boxes. I'm getting it because I'm such a fan of the franchise. So. But yeah, Corey, what do you think about Halloween 3, man? I don't remember hearing you ever talk about Halloween 3.
I love it. It's one of my favorites. If I have to rank it, it's like a little halfway, I'd say. But that's because I just love almost all the Halloween movies except for like one of them. So it's hard to like rank it. But I do love everything about Season of the Witch. It's one I watch every year.
You know, it's interesting. What would have happened had the movie been a success? You know, like, let's just say for some reason audiences back then and critics would have liked it. Like, think about that for a second. What if they really would have liked the movie and it made a good, healthy profit? What would have happened?
That would be awesome, because then we have all these cool Halloween anthology movies, kind of like some
Trick or Treat.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like what would have happened? It's crazy to think about. You think Michael would have ever come back? You know, I think inevitably he would have, but think of the zigzag that would have created. You know, it's wild to think about.
Colton brings up a good point. Halloween 3 did make money, but it didn't make enough that they cared. Like,
you got to think about what Halloween 2 did. It made boatloads of money. They couldn't fill the safes up quick enough with the money Halloween 2 made.
I think 5 is the least grossing out of all of them.
If memory serves, 5 only went to theaters in America because it came out so damn quick that the markets weren't even ready for it. Because I think, markets across the pond, so to speak, they get movies in the theater later than we do. Mm-hmm. And I'm assuming even more so back then. So Halloween 4 was probably still, in everybody's face over in the UK and, Africa and all those places. It was just too soon.
Yeah, exactly. I think it did say direct-to-video in a lot of places outside the U.S.
It doesn't count for
they shouldn't have made
direct-to-video
it that
horror,
quick.
Corey.
What'd you say?
It doesn't count for direct-to-video horror.
No, and I wouldn't put it on there either.
Right.
Who is
Why
that?
would you
Who is
anyways?
that ugly son of a gun's voice I hear right now? Well, you just let anybody on this stream, Corey. You gotta have some standards and practices, man. This is ridiculous.
Okay. What's up, Drew?
Not much. How's it going, guys?
Good. We just talked about Halloween 2. We're talking Halloween 3. Halloween 3 for me, it's funny. It's so much like Invasion of the Body Snatchers, though. If everybody's seen that here, it reminds me a lot of that one. Have you guys all seen the original?
No, I've seen the Jeff Goldblum. I have the Jeff Goldblum version from '78, I believe, which is good.
It is good. I like that one. That's actually the one I've seen too. I haven't seen.
I have not seen the original, man. It takes a lot for me to stretch that far back in time with movies.
Yeah. Christian, you and Drew were persuading me to get the Blob, so I bought it today.
Man,
I need to get that too.
I tell you, Corey, it's a good movie. At the heart of it, it's a good movie. Forget the connotations you might have. Oh, this is the Blob. What is this? It's 1988. It's Chuck Russell. It's almost too good. It really is almost too good for a movie called The Blob. I mean, everything about it's a home run.
Definitely too good.
Yeah. So, great cast. Shawnee Smith is just as lovely as ever. She's probably 18 years old back then.
Cute as a button.
Yeah, definitely check that out soon, Corey. I mean, I'm gonna need a review on that.
I'll definitely watch it in the next few days because I got that, and then I got Phantom of the Opera, Robert Englund one, and then.
All right. Yeah.
River.
All right, Corey. Can I ask a question, Corey?
Yeah.
I need to settle a score between Derek and Drew, and I want Corey. You're gonna have to moderate this, okay?
Yep.
Because it's about to get ugly up in this stream.
Oh my God.
Okay, let's go back to Halloween 2, 1981. I can already see Derek oh God.
Yeah, let's go back to.
All right, Derek. All right, listen. This is how we're gonna do this, Derek. I want you to talk about the scene. The infamous scene of Dick Warlock portraying Shane, walking down the stairs in pursuit of Laurie Strode. I want you to tell me your problems with the scene, and I want Drew to rebuttal. Corey, can we do that, please, Corey? Because this is what these streams are all about, Corey. All right. So
put Derek corner in a corner.
All right, Derek, go ahead. Drew, be respectful. I know you will, and let the man finish. Drew, and I want you to come in.
To me, he's just way too slow. She's got a bad ankle and everything, and she gets way ahead of him. Every time I watch that movie, I think if that was me, I'd be 10 miles away, and I'd already be back in the town, and he would have no shot to catch me. And then what people always say is people are always like, well, he was shot earlier that day, so he was wounded, but that's a weak argument because he killed all those people. He walked from town to the hospital, so, that's not a good argument. And then Corey's always like, he was toying with her. Well, he was a fucking idiot then because she got away, and he got burned to a
Okay, so let me ask you this, Derek. Let me chime in real quick, Derek. Let me chime in. I'm gonna let you finish. Does the scene visually bother you, or is it strictly a continuity thing?
Visually, it's a great scene. The cinematography is great. It's just I just don't like walking killers that are really slow in movies. I like Jason in part 3 and part 4 the best. And then I like in zombie movies, I like fast zombies. I don't like really slow antagonists. And he was kind of slow in 1 and 4 and some of the other movies, but I feel like most of the movies they hide his slowness and he doesn't feel as slow. I feel like that's the moment where Myers feels the slowest in the entire franchise.
Okay, so you see it as a sore thumb scene in the movie.
It's still my 4th favorite in the franchise. still an A, but that scene pretty much stops it from being the best sequel for me. It's just a deal breaker for me.
Okay. It's fair enough. All right, Drew, because I know you're a big proponent of the staircase. So why don't you go ahead, Drew?
Well, what do you want me to say? That's extremely nitpicky.
Well, I mean, just what is your rebuttal to that? Because I'm not trying to start a...
That's nitpicky. Like, I mean, like, I could be so lucky to not be bothered by such trivial things. I mean, I never watched that scene and thought, good God, he's going so slow, isn't he? It's like, I don't know if you've ever been shot before, but it doesn't get better as time goes on. You're not becoming more able. You're not grabbing adrenaline of any kind. You're kind of just losing it. I have never had a problem with it. I never even heard that it was a problem for anyone before. So,
Drew, he seemed pretty healthy when he picked that nurse up with his scalpel and lifted her 10 feet in the air right before that.
Hey, correction. She was 7 3/4. Okay, okay, go ahead.
I've always never had a problem with it either. I actually think that shot of him walking down the stairs is one of the scariest shots in the whole franchise.
It's a cool shot. I love the visual of it.
Like that dead face.
At the end of the day, this is the most important thing. This is the most important thing at the end of the day.
Yes.
Whatever Derek thinks of Halloween 2, it's whatever. The fact that he absolutely, positively laid the smackdown on the stupidity that is Jason Takes Manhattan is a bomb for that.
I agree.
All right, Derek, I'm going to give you my 2 cents real quick, Derek. You want to know what I think, Derek?
I definitely do.
I don't think you're out of line for disliking it. I really don't. Now, I chalk it up to good cinema, the fact that he moves slow. But let's be realistic. You know why he's moving slow? Because he's on a dark staircase and he can't look down. He didn't want to bust his ass. That's truly what it came down to.
Well, that's actually not the worst part of that scene. The worst part of the scene, I can get past that. It's when he sees her in the elevator, and then that is the worst part of like that whole exchange.
Well, he's not moving fast there because he's cursed by Thorn, right? So I mean, he's under a spell. He doesn't know to run. Why y'all laughing? Why are y'all laughing? He doesn't know how to run because he's cursed. He's not in control of his own body. Speaking of that, why don't we move on, Corey, to Halloween 4, the return of Michael Myers.
Christian, that was fun.
That was fun. I'll let you guys go first. What do you guys think of Halloween 4? Like, how would you rank it in the franchise?
Pretty low. It's just okay.
Okay. Oh wow, that's a different opinion. I like it.
I think it's in my top 4 or 5, probably. You gotta understand something. I have no problem admitting my Halloween ranking changes as often as my drawers. So I mean, it's funny. When I watch Rob Zombie's Halloween, I'll be like, God dang, I love this movie so much, and it bumps up. But then I'll watch Halloween 4. And I'm like, man, this is really cool because I'm a fan of big Myers. I like a big, bulky Myers. I really do. To me, let's face it. You know, I'd rather take my chances with a Nick Castle as opposed to a George P. Wilbur. Because if George gets his hands on me, you can kiss me goodbye. I mean, you really could.
I'll take my chances with Dick Warlock Myers any day, and I'll win.
So,
George P. Wilbur is pretty scary.
I think Halloween 4 is a pretty darn good little movie. I really do. I don't have any major gripes with it. The mask is the biggest thing. And I'm like, good God, how much different does it look? I mean, of course it's different, but this is where I get in with the mask. Like it's such a well, that's fine, but like Jesus Christ, you know, I think it's still a white mask. Like I never understood how people really get into this, like the masks and stuff. And that's cool because it's a franchise that people love.
It looks like somebody's like 5-year-old drew Michael Myers or something. That's what it looks like.
I mean, at the cellular level, though, you know, the first one was just a mask that was painted white too. Of course, it was the Kirk guy. I just never understood how like people have hatred for it, and that's fine.
Well, I don't hate
I guess
but it's not.
I guess that's my
original.
I guess that's my staircase. But it's like, who cares? It's not. Of course, the mask doesn't look like it's from Kmart.
It isn't a fault of the film. It doesn't ruin it for me in any way.
That's what I'm getting at. That's what I'm getting at.
Let me say this. I don't love the mask, but he does pick up that mask from the store. And to me, a bad mask in that movie, my dog wants attention. A bad mask in that movie isn't as bad as like Halloween 5 or whatever.
Hey, you're jumping ahead there.
He's supposed to have the same mask he had in 4, but he doesn't. Like, that stuff is stupid.
Oh, well, you should not watch the Friday the 13th movies.
Well, like, if you're going to talk about the mask from 4 being in 5, I mean, he went through water. He was laying just in some dude's shack for a year. It could have
for a whole year.
So naturally, his mask would turn angry in 5, right? Like,
yes, it gets more pissed.
Less tucked in at the neck.
Yes. But I can see though why Drew thinks it's just okay though. I love 4, but I can see why people like or dislike it. I don't think.
When it comes to the Thorn trilogy, it's kind of like this, right? Like, my least favorite in the Thorn trilogy is Part 5, so that would be like that would be like peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah.
It's like you have nothing else. Okay, this is what I'm gonna have. When you come to Part 6, Curse of Michael Myers, that's when you get into like, Ritz crackers. It's a good snack, but it's not quite good enough. There's just problems, and neither cut fixes it. And then you get to Halloween 4, and you're like, okay, I've got myself a turkey sandwich, but there's no cheese on this. It's delicious, but it's not really that great.
That's a good way of putting it. Yeah, it's in my top 5 overall, but like I can see why people would like it or dislike it. Like I can see both arguments.
And sequels,
I get a little
sequels
bored
are hard,
to be honest.
Sequels are hard because you got this movie that people. It's funny. You want to know something? Let me say something real quick. It's so easy and I think I've talked to Drew about this before. It's so easy when Halloween fanatics say, "Oh man, the first one's so scary because you don't know anything about Michael. You didn't know blah blah blah. He's so mystic. He's a force. Here's the thing. That's all conjecture from stuff that John's talked about over the years and commentaries. I asked my uncle about it. I said, Uncle Mark, did you see Halloween back in the day? He goes, oh, yeah, Bubba, the movie was so scary. I was like, what was so scary about it? He doesn't say, oh, because Michael is a force of nature's killer. The movie was just really suspenseful. That was why people enjoyed that movie back then. Nobody came out the theater, I'm sure, in 1978 saying, oh, my God, he's a mystic force of nature. People didn't think like that. It was much simpler than that. It was just a scary little good movie. And then when you make these sequels try to explain things and carry over, it's difficult, So
it blends with all those other sequels that like are other franchises that they change it up, like adding more gore in 1981 Halloween 2, or like H2O is like kind of similar to like those kind of movies in the 90s, like kind of back and forth.
Yeah.
So I rewatched it this last month, and it kind of fluctuates like my favorite sequel. Like, it's right there with Halloween 2, 1981 and 2018. One thing that really stood out to me when I watched it like a week or so ago was that the kind of the kills sort of suck. Like, there's kind of a lack of gore because it came out, I think, in 88. That's like the Friday the 13th Part 7 and 8 era, when like the MPAA was neutering everything. So I really noticed like the kills weren't as good. I feel like the kills were good, but not as good as like what I remember.
That's not an excuse. I was just watching Phantasm 2 today from 88, and they didn't.
Ooh, I love Phantasm 2.
Hold on, Derek, was it that? Because I haven't watched the special features about Halloween 4. Was it that, or was it a notion to not have so much blood because maybe that's what the original didn't have? Obviously, 2 had a pretty okay amount, but was that a decision by Dwight? Because the girl gets a shotgun through her chest and not a drop of blood. Like, not even a drop?
I didn't look into it, but I was just guessing based on the year the movie came out, because the MPAA was all over, like, a lot of movies in that.
Was Halloween 4 under Universal, or did they already switch companies?
I think they were still with Trancas.
Trancas, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, because that Fantastic 2 was Universal, and there was good gore in that movie. Great gore.
Yeah.
Great gore.
And I think that they probably wanted to go back to like the first one where it was not as gory, and I was fine with that.
I think that would make more sense. I understand what Derek's saying, but I think if you watch it, it's like, how much blood is there in Halloween 4? Now that I'm thinking about it, like, when is there a lot of blood? The dude has a thumb in his forehead. He's got a damn thumb in his forehead, and there's no blood.
Well, the only real kill is when the guy gets his neck like ripped open. But like,
there's still good kills. Like the shotgun kill is still a good kill. The electrocution kill is still a good kill. Like they still have good kills. I'm just talking like the gore is kind of missing. But I'm nitpicking because I think the characters are the best collection of characters in the whole franchise in 4. And I think Wilbur minus the mask is really awesome in 4. And I think 4 has a pretty good ending. I wouldn't say a great ending, but a pretty good ending. You know, just with like how Myers dies, it's good, but not great.
I don't understand why everybody's so like in love with Rachel. I don't think she's that great. What is your favorite character?
Tell you what.
What is your character?
Yeah, the Nightmare on Elm Street guy that directed 4 didn't want her. That's for damn sure. He passed on her. He probably thought she had no personality, but she was very subtle.
But there's just nothing to her.
She felt real to me, like a real person. All the characters in 4 feel like real people that you would meet, which is what I kind of want.
And that's fine, but I think that way about 2.
She got like severely outclassed by Jamie in that movie.
Here's some coffee.
Christian, did you say you feel the same way about H2?
No. I said I think the characters are the most real in 2. I love Bud.
I love
the paramedic.
Well. I think 2 has an awesome cast as well.
Mm-hmm. I think they were fantastic.
I agree.
I think it's tough, man. Because look, I have no problem admitting it. Like, I love the bad girl in Halloween 4 with the big tits. She's fantastic.
The tits we don't get to see.
Here's the thing: she's a bitch, but she's not too much of a bitch. She's just enough of a bitch that you like her. I mean, I loved her in that movie. Cops do it by the books. God Almighty.
This is a little off topic, but I watched Bride of Reanimator this month, and she was in it. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, but I like Loomis in 4 too. He's a little kookier, but
in 4.
He's never not good. He's always good.
Yeah. I mean, he's great. He's just so enjoyable. Even his lines were really shitty, which, I mean, he probably had to improv a little bit in 5, I would imagine. But even if his lines were shitty, you just love seeing him on screen, for God's sake.
Yeah. You could say the most boring shit and make it sound interesting.
He's been so genuine in his performances and all of them.
He's just a crazy old man. So, and I love the scene. My favorite scene's when the old man picks him up. Get in here, old man.
Yeah,
you're hunting it, ain't you?
Yeah,
and then he blows his nose on his hand. He's like, goes to shake his hand. I'm like, oh, you nasty old
driving, and he's chugging whiskey while he's driving.
But that's why Loomis is so great, because he's not prude. It's like, here's a doctor, for God's sakes, and he's just taking a swig of this shit. But I guess it's because he's chasing the devil, so he's like, hell with it.
Loomis too smiled in that scene, because like in the rest of the movie, he's just dreading this, and he just has a happy moment.
You know what?
I will be honest though.
I love the hillbillies. They're fucking hilarious.
Yeah, they're funny.
What the guys say? You said you saw Myers. This is Ted Hollister. You bastard.
You dumb son of a bitch. You said you saw Myers.
Would it have been interesting though had they done the movie that Tommy Lee Wallace wanted them to do, where when Laurie goes off to college, kind of like a Scream 2 type thing? Because I remember he said that was what he kind of wanted to do, but they never did that. I don't know. It would have been interesting. What if Halloween 4 would have came out like years earlier, like more in the middle to early 80s? I like that vibe
Probably
for
would
Halloween.
have been able to find the original mask, and it would have been cooler.
Yeah. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, because I still hear different things about this. I need a definitive answer. That is the same mask in 2. It's just that Dick Warlock's face is fatter, so it reshapes it, right? It's the same mask.
It's the exact same mask. It's the exact same
Dude,
mask.
I'm telling you, there's conversations about this where people say, no, it's a different mask. I'm like, but Dick has a thick face. He just filled that thing up. Look at Nick Castle. He had a 2-liter bottle face. He had a really long, skinny face. So it always
And
made sense to me.
left that underneath her bed like for years, so like it got all gross looking from smoke.
It's not even years.
Christian,
We're
you
talking
should
2
know
years.
these things. He walks so
probably
slow, you have
filmed
plenty of time to look at the mask.
They probably filmed in 1980. We're talking 2 years here.
Yeah. Because I think when didn't Dick say something to Deborah like, "Hey, do you need this?" And she's like, "No, we're not doing any more of these. Just take it." Yeah. So are we done with Halloween 4? Are we going up to the classic Halloween 5 now?
Oh man, I'm ready.
First and foremost, I think Tina is way better than Rachel. I'll take her any day.
I'll say that I like Tina more than people give her credit for.
I agree, Corey. I don't think she's as bad as what people make her out to be.
I like Rachel more.
I never thought she was bad. I never had a problem with her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I always think it's misdirection when people give crap to the girl. Hey, dude, she's doing what the director's telling her to do. For God's sakes, be mad at the director. He's doing she's giving him the performance he's looking for.
There's much worse things to be mad at the director for, like the fucking Myers house.
Oh my God, that looks like shit.
Dude, the Myers house turned into like a 1700s Victorian model,
right in the middle of the suburbs.
Hey, real talk though, I do like the way it looks, but it's just like, okay, come on, man. Did you even see the other movies? Like, come on, bro.
He just didn't care. No, he probably did see him. He just didn't care.
Yeah. I think
Halloween 5 could have been a better B rental movie. The damn whistles that go off when the cops say a joke. Here's the thing. Make the cops idiots. That's fine. But don't blow a whistle after they say something. That's like making me feel like an idiot. Like I need to know this is comedy. Yeah. So just don't do the whistles.
That was ridiculous. In 2018, they did that better for that one scene those people were in.
Like do the cops like you did them in 2018 if you're going to do idiot cops.
They
like,
don't
make it super meta.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I thought that they were way.
Let me tell y'all something. But y'all are jumping ahead. Let me tell y'all something. I'm going to tell you what I do like about Halloween 5. And it's a short list, but I'll tell you what I do like. The laundry chute scene, I think, was actually pretty damn good.
It's amazing.
That's a great scene.
Yes.
It's like we got a Jekyll and Hyde director. It's almost like one day he wakes up, he's like, let's see how ridiculous we can make this. And cops, we need you to go watch Barney and Fife for 30 minutes and come back on set, But then he's like, we're going to make this amazing laundry chute scene. That's going to look great. We're really going to have Jamie in this thing. And I'm like,
imagine if they do the laundry chute scene in Halloween Kills. It's going to be a CGI knife.
Yeah, but, there's a conversation to be had about that, right? Because of what happened with the Devil 3 from Hell you told me about with the arrows.
Right. No, right? What I'm trying to say is the reason that scene is so cool is because it feels so real, because it is. It's real. It's on camera.
Yeah. Right. So, and again, Jamie Lloyd or, Danielle Harris, she shows her chops with emotion in that. And then, okay, the mute thing. Can somebody explain to me the mute thing? Because for God's sakes, I don't understand it.
To explain it to me.
It's like, to me, it's like they wanted to rewrite. They didn't want to go with the ending from 4. So they're like, oh, she didn't kill her stepmother. She just stabbed her, but she's got PTSD because she can't talk. But she has some kind of psychic connection to Michael Myers. Like, I feel like it was their way of writing around the ending of the 4th movie.
Yeah, I can see that.
It's like, make practical changes to make this shit make sense. Okay, if you want her to be a mute, just have Halloween 4 in when Mike takes a dirt nap in that shaft. And have the credits roll after that. People will still say, oh, he's not dead. And you can have the next one. But then she's got to stab her mama, which, whatever, I'm sure in the cinema, people are like, oh my God. But just cut that scene out. And then 5, God bless, it still has to make about as much sense as, as a, I don't know, a 3-legged dog. But still, it's just like, God almighty. I think she was a mute because they couldn't come up with enough lines for her. The script was probably so bad, so let's just make her a mute and make her look aggravated the whole time.
And they were doing it so quickly, they probably didn't make much of the script.
But I'm going to be honest with y'all. I don't skip Halloween 5 when I'm binging them. Because
I don't either.
I always want my B-movie goodness. And I see it as a B-movie. that has enough justification to be like, okay, damn, that was pretty cool. You know, the laundry chute scene is really cool. So I like the movie for that a lot.
I think Don Shanks is a good Myers, and I think it has good kills in the movie. Like it has its strong points. The two biggest things for me that just kill Halloween 5 that I feel like nobody can defend is when Michael Myers fucking sheds a tear. Like, oh my fucking God. And not to mention, his face is not burned at all. Like, explain to me how Michael Myers would not have a burned face if you're going by the continuity. Because you don't ever see his face in 4. But he's bandaged at
Dude's
the
like completely not going by continuity.
Yep.
I'll tell you why right now. Because it makes no goddamn sense.
Exactly.
But you know what? To hell with it. To hell with it. Like, you know, there's like, when you really change history, it's like, I don't know. Like, here's the thing. We could all easily just like say, oh, well, they should have done that and they should have done that. Put me on a movie set. I would have my hands so far up my ass, I wouldn't know what to do. You know, it's easy, you know, it's like history is history. And while Halloween 5 certainly was not at the Golden Globes that year, it's like, you know what, man? It's kind of all right. It's like, as a Halloween, it's like, you know what? It's my bastard son. It's my black sheep. Actually, no. Some might argue 6 is the black sheep, and we'll get there. Or Resurrection, which I like. Mm-hmm. But we'll talk more about that.
Before we go on, let's talk about the ending. Because to me, Halloween 5 has like a top 20, maybe top 10 worst endings of all time. But it's like, it's like every time I watch it, I'm like, man, this movie's pretty good. Why do I hate it so much? Then I get to the ending, I'm like, oh, that's why. Because we got Michael Myers twiddling his chains in his cell. The man in black shows up, some old-ass guy in a trench coat, shoots every single cop that's in the police station and kills them all, kidnaps Michael Myers. Like, it's too much. Like,
I tell you what, though, Derek, I tell you what. Somebody tell me if they're with me on this, for God's sakes. I can believe a man in black get Michael out of jail a hell of a lot easier than the cops not taking his mask off.
True, yeah, exactly.
That's a good point.
I mean, Jesus Christ, guys. I mean, what the hell is up with this county department? They need standards.
They don't do it in H2O either, though.
Well, we'll get there.
Yeah. I just thought about that. I was like, wait. But yeah, it's stupid either.
I like the music in 5 too. I was telling Drew, I think the music's kind of badass in this movie, man.
I like
sure.
Yeah.
It's good.
You know, it's Alan Howarth again. You know, all he does is kind of put a little bit of different spices on the themes. I was like, yeah, man, cool.
I think there's only 2 things I really like in 5, which is Tina and the laundry chute scene. I think that's it.
You don't like that ending, Corey?
No, I don't like it that much. I think that might be my least favorite ending. Overall.
I think you put it last on your list. I think
it is my least favorite. Honestly, even Resurrection's ending I put over it because it's.
I think so too.
So
it's worst ending in the franchise for me. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Yep.
No. Well, that's what she says at the end of the movie.
Oh.
Yep. No. All right. Here we go. Corey, this is your show. We're going on a Halloween 6. Get us started.
Halloween 6 has some of the best cinematography. I think after the first one, it's got some great cinematography, some great kills.
You think it has better cinematography than 2 and 3? Dean Cundy?
Hold on, let him go.
I mean, like, not like it's one of the best ones after like the first couple. I should have said that. I mean, but like not Dean Cundy cinematography, I guess, because I think it really does ooze atmosphere throughout every scene in the movie. But it's just a butchered movie that like doesn't. It's not good in a lot of other regards besides the kills.
I think it has atmosphere, but not through the whole thing.
Do you mean like not much towards the end or the beginning, or just?
It's all over the place, like you just said. Like there's parts where it's pretty great, and there's parts where it's like, what the hell's going on?
Oh, okay, yeah.
I have no reason to defend Halloween 6. I can't. I don't feel it's necessary. All I can say is it's a very nostalgic film for me. It's very 90s, which I like, and it reminds me of the color blue so much. And I like the way Michael looks, and I enjoy it. I watch it. When I want to watch Scorsese movies, I don't put on Halloween 6. When I want to watch something to just chill to and feel like a kid again, I watch Halloween 6, and I love it for that. but I have no reason to defend it because what am I supposed to say? Like, no offense, Corey, I'm not going to say it has great cinematography because I don't know what the hell great cinematography is. I really don't. I like to think, oh my God, look at that shot. Like when I watch Midsummer, I'm like, Jesus Christ, this looks like heaven out here.
Well, Midsummer is constant good cinematography. It's never not good cinematography.
So it's subjective.
I guess in how we think of the moments that work.
I think you can argue that it's subjective, but at the same time, like there is standards. There's just like, I mean, are we all going to sit here and say like,
it's
don't
2019
that Carmen Electra is a beautiful woman? Isn't that just factual?
Well, Carmen Electra 2005 for sure. I haven't seen her in years.
No, we're talking the version that's coming into your head right now.
Yeah.
Does anybody disagree with that? I'm trying to make sure we're not all crazy here.
Disagree with what? Repeat what you're saying.
What?
Repeat what you're saying. Agree with what?
Everybody agrees, like objectively, Carmen Electra is beautiful, right?
Oh yeah.
The image I have of her right now, but I haven't seen a picture of her yet.
Yeah. The point is like, yes, everything is subjective, but like there is just things that define the definition of things,
Exactly. Yeah. What I'm getting at too is like it's 2019. This movie's made in the mid 90s on a relatively small budget. So it's like I've seen movies that are so fucking gorgeous that to me I can't consciously say, oh my God, it looks remarkable. I like the way it looks. Don't get me wrong. I listen to psychobilly music too. I love bands like the Cramps and stuff, but I'm not going to say, oh my God, the compositions on this is incredible. And that's kind of what I'm getting at as well. But I dig it.
What do you guys prefer?
I like the producer's cut because I'm always just like, look, man, just fucking go for it. Whatever you're going to do, go for it. And that's why I like the producer's cut. Just go nuts. If you're going to give me this thorn shit, give it to me. Shove it up my butt. Like, just give it all to me. So that's why I like the producer's cut.
I think like everybody here, you probably like one a little more, but I'm torn between both of them. I like the producer's cut for the first 2/3, and then the theatrical I like more.
Same.
Yeah, I like how the producer's cut is way more subtle, and it doesn't have a lot of like cheap shit that like the noises and like jump cuts. But like, I'd rather watch the ending of the theatrical.
You don't like them throwing a pile of rocks down and stuff, man?
No.
Hell yeah, I do. Hell yeah, I do. I love that dude, I love it. Why the hell not? We're talking about a guy that We're talking about a guy that can't walk fast down a staircase. I believe a pair of rocks will stop his ass. He's cursed. Bro, he's cursed. You see, I like demonic shit. I love cults, so that's my bias.
Yeah,
I'm down with it.
And I like how ironic it is. I mean, after all these years, and then he ends up getting the curse. It's cool.
Let me say
get on board for the Thorn trilogy. I want that ending.
Right.
Power of the Runes.
Go ahead.
So for me, with 6, like if someone's like the plot is shit, I feel like I can't argue with them. But like when you watch 6, you have to watch it with the right mindset. I think the math looks great. It has one of my favorite Myers portrayals in the whole franchise. Myers is awesome and really intimidating. It's got great kills and great gore. Like I just love how Myers is handled in 6, from like how he looks and how intimidating he is. Warlock's even better in 6, or not Warlock. Wilbur's even better in 6 than he is in 4, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's definitely.
I mean, trust me. Yeah. Go ahead.
I was gonna say it's definitely a mixed movie. Like I said, I really love the kills. I really love a lot of the atmosphere.
Yep.
But everything else just doesn't really do anything for me.
The story is complete shit.
So Corey, you're saying they needed more rocks.
They needed more rocks on set. No, just everything else. I just didn't. At least I could put it over 5 for like visuals and like kills, but like not really much. Really, after that, I can really say good about it.
Yeah, I'll tell you.
Just so far behind when they kill Jamie Lloyd at the first like 20 minutes, or in the producer's killer, and later it's still killer, and it's like that was such a disservice to do that whenever she was so important in 4 and 5.
Yeah, I'll tell you this, Corey. This is the argument I have in my head. The producers, and I'm not saying any of y'all are saying this. This is what I battle with. Like for a long time, I battle with this. Oh man, the producer's cut is just so ridiculous. They got rocks and druids and stuff, and he banged his own daughter, his sister, to have a kid. And then I tell myself I'm a Christian, and I'm not trying to change anybody's mind. Okay, you tell yourself you like the theatrical cut better. Is that movie still really good? Let's be completely honest. It's still a broken movie. So just go for it. Effing go for it. Give me what you guys were gonna do. So that's why I like the producer's cut. Because if you're gonna be a weird, strange ass movie, give it to me. That's why I like the producer's cut.
Well, in the theatrical, you get the doctor's office massacre. You don't get that in the producer's cut. That's probably the big reason for me. Where like they have the strobe lights or whatever, and he kills all those doctors. They don't have that in the producer's cut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a
I'm gonna
strange
switch
movie.
my laptop real quick, guys. Invite me back in 1 second.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
No problem, bro. But albeit, guys, I love the producer's cut. It's seriously one of my favorites. I adore it. It's so crazy. I just love how crazy it is. So
I'm glad you do because it does have its fans. Like it really does.
Yeah. But I'm not going to tell you it's it's award-winning cinema. Because let's be honest, it's not. It's 2019. I mean.
Yeah. Exactly.
But subjectively, I love it. It makes me think of the color blue so much. The entire movie.
It is very blue. I like that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it is lovely.
So that's all I got for Halloween 6. But I do agree with Derek. I think Michael looks like such a badass in this movie.
He does.
If you take, because this will be a good transition, if you take the kills and the Myers portrayal from 6 and put it in H2O, H2O would be the best sequel in the franchise.
I'm not necessarily going to argue that. I mean, are we going there
to H2O next?
Are we going H2O?
H2O. Now, I think I'll start. I really love H2O.
Go ahead, Derek. I'll let Derek go first. Go ahead, Derek.
It's kind of hit or miss because me and Corey were talking about this the other day. I actually like Laurie Strode's portrayal in H2O better than 2018. I think it's more realistic, and I like how her PTSD is handled. And I love the last act. It has and I'm not taking that stupid resurrection retcon, doesn't even count to me. Like the ending of H2O is one of like the best last acts in the last ending. But the problem I have with that movie is there's just Myers is such a pussy in that movie. Like, oh my God, like he gets smacked around by like every character that touches him in that movie. That old woman at the beginning, and then he doesn't kill the kids and the mom and the daughter in the stall, and then Josh Hartnett's girlfriend and Josh Hartnett beat him up, and then Laurie Strode beats him up. Like, I never fear Myers at any time in H2O. I think Durand is the worst Myers in the whole franchise for me. And don't forget the CGI mask, too.
I think that Laurie Strode carries that movie, and that's why I love it so much.
I agree on that totally. I totally agree. So
I mean, first and foremost, I do agree with what Derek said. It's not even close to me. I love Jamie Lee Curtis in this movie way more than Halloween 2018. I mean, this is one of my favorite sequels. I don't really disagree with what you're saying about Michael Myers. He's not the best portrayal by far, probably one of the weakest. But I don't know. I just enjoy Laurie Strode in the movie so much.
Me too.
Yes.
She brings such an emotional pull to a horror movie that you just didn't really see. And it just works so well in that way. And it feels more realistic that it's 20 years instead of 40 years.
Right.
And she had two bad experiences because 2 is continuity. Even though they never addressed the question, how the hell did he survive the fire? Because you watched him fucking burn right in front of you.
They didn't explain it because they did it so much in 4, they probably just didn't want to explain it again because they were just ignoring those.
I wish they would have kept that scene they were supposed to have where the girl reads the book report or whatever about like Jamie Lloyd, and they would have kept 4 through 6 in continuity and just said that she abandoned her daughter. I think they were just scared that would make her an unlikable character, but I wish they would have just kept the franchise together. I think they easily could have done that because that would have explained where Michael Myers was for 20 years. It would have made.
I'll tell you what, though, Derek. Derek, yeah, you're right. They could have done that, but guess what, baby? The producers sit at the table, don't give a shit because it makes them not a zero extra dollar.
They did not give a shit. Even in the commentary, Steve Miner is like, "I'm only doing this if I don't watch any of the sequels. I'm just making this movie. That's all I'm doing." And I was just like, "Okay."
Yeah, I don't.
I tell you what, dude.
With them going from 2 to that one, because I mean, I just like the idea of Michael being out there and being, like the boogeyman. So I mean, I like that. I enjoy that aspect.
I like that.
I don't like that. I was never. I don't know why. I really love certain movies from that era. And Halloween H Show was a movie I was always like, I don't know, do I really like it? And I'll tell you what, Halloween 2018 gave me a lot more clarity. And I've never really talked about this openly yet. But I gotta be honest. I think I like Jamie Lee Curtis more now in Halloween H2O because I feel like that's really her in real life. Kind of like a know-it-all loudmouth. I feel that's really her in real life. And that's kind of what she's more pompous in H2O. And I just feel I don't know. Here's the thing. I really wish H2O never existed and could have been the movie we got last year. Because I think the guys that directed it, I mean, and that's simply I don't like the late 90s that much, so to speak.
I like this. I like 94. Oh my god.
But I like Myers in H2O, man. Like you say, he doesn't kill the kid in the bathroom. Wait, he killed the little bastard in Halloween 1978. So if you want continuity, Derek, there it is right there. He don't kill kids.
And he didn't kill the baby in 2018 either. So
I mean, I don't know. I thought it was that. See, that's a movie I would argue and say, yeah, I do think that's a well-made film. I really do think it's a very well-made film compared to like 6 or 5 or even 4 to a certain extent. Like it's. I need to watch it again on Blu-ray. I think it looks gorgeous on Blu-ray, probably.
Wait, hold on. Let me just say this as a physical media collector. We have to be talking about the version from Scream Factory. The Echo Bridge H2O Blu-ray is awful. If you want to copy H2O on Blu-ray, you got to get the Scream Factory version. That's the one that looks great. Now, what I wanted to say, coming off of what Christian was saying, I completely forgot. Never mind. Go ahead.
No, I'm pretty much done. I like the movie now more because of Halloween 2018. It is because of Jamie, because I used to think she was annoying in the movie because she was, I don't want to say loudmouth. That's really not the word to use. She's very much more in charge and has no. She acts like she's, and I think that's really her in real life, especially if you watch
Let me bring up 3 things. I remember what I wanted to say. Probably my favorite scene in the movie, besides the ending, is when she confronts her son in town and she like goes off on him.
Yes,
that's hilarious. That's I love the beginning with Nurse Chambers. That's a great opening. I love having Mr. Sandman back in there. And I also, there's one more thing. What was it? God damn it, I forgot. Go ahead.
That makes me think of the scene when he's flipping the tables at the end. To me, that's great cinema. Jesus Christ, he's flipping them damn tables.
The whole last act is amazing. It's arguably the best last act in the franchise for me.
And I'm guilty of this. I feel like I do nitpick hard on Halloween H2O, but like for being really subjective, damn, it's such a well-made film compared to the other ones. It really is. More money. Jamie Lee's back, and I think because of Halloween 2018 now, I like that movie more because I think I'm really seeing Jamie Lee Curtis on the screen, but more or less being herself.
There's a moment in Halloween 2018 that's really badass to me. Like, okay, and badass isn't the right word. It just echoes why I love Jamie Lee Curtis in that movie so much. Because like in Halloween 2018, she's like very like, oh, I'm a victim. I was like horribly like stalked when I was a teenager. Like in Halloween H2O, when she's talking to her boyfriend and she's telling him what happened, the line she says always gets me when she's like, he killed my friends. Like it just brings it back to like she was just like 17 and her 2 best friends were just murdered in one night. Like, so I love that part of the movie.
My favorite line in that scene where he's talking to him and he said, "You think he's gonna come back?" And he said, "Well, he waited all this time for me. He's gonna come back." But I just kind of messed that up.
It was a game of cat and mouse. He had to find Jamie in that one, It's more, I don't know, I do like that more than the bastards in prison, Jamie. Move the hell away. If you just wouldn't have been in Haddonfield, you would have been remotely okay. Because I just wait till November 1st, at least I think so. We'll see when Halloween Kills comes out, for God's sake. But wait till November 1st. If you live 600 miles away, Jamie, you're fine. Jesus Christ. I mean, for God's sake. See, when we get to Halloween 2018, I'm going to start breaking this movie down because it's a house of cards. You look at it from one angle, it looks nice and big and strong. But there's things I like about it too. I digress. We'll get there. But I think Halloween H2O is going to age like a fine fucking wine. I really do. And that's in my personal opinion.
I like 2018 a lot more than a lot of people did, so.
I don't have any problems with it either, but I'll save it. I'll save it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I think Halloween H2O is a fucking badass movie.
It is.
I really do.
It's good.
I think it's.
Derek's like, it's good.
It's like upper middle of the franchise for me. But like I said, I really value like body count, pacing, and gore, and H2O. Like the Myers portrayal is just weak as hell for me.
I also like LL Cool J in that movie.
Oh, he's fantastic.
He's funny.
He's
He's really
comedic
good
in a complimentary way.
Yeah.
See, LL Cool J was the worst thing that could have happened in a sense because they just thought, okay, we can just get a hip hop guy in this movie and they'll kick ass. But LL, as we've seen, guys, there's few guys that have made this transition. LL has done a lot of TV. He's doing great. Ice-T has done a lot of TV. He's doing great. Ice Cube even. Well, you could argue Ice Cube's not a great actor.
I would argue Ice Cube.
You know, I love Ice-T. I watch him on those crime shows all the time. Ice-T is a bad son of a bitch, man. But it was a bad
body count alone.
Yeah. So like they what happened was they just thought, okay, let's get Busta Rhymes in this movie. He's gonna. Yeah, well, you know, hold on. I'll save it. We're getting there.
Let's go to Resurrection, as I want to open with a trigger warning to Corey. First thing, Resurrection reminds me of Last Jedi in a way. Like it's an entertaining movie.
What the hell?
Like it's
what the
fun.
hell?
It's fun and it's watchable, but it's extremely disrespectful to the franchise.
Bullshit.
Wait, hold on. Halloween Resurrection is like substantially better than The Last Jedi.
What?
Okay, hold on. I want Drew to take off with this. Because we were talking about Resurrection not too long ago.
In the group chat, this has been going on for like a week.
All right. The truth is I have a lot of fun with Resurrection. The beginning is really ridiculous and insulting, and it just shits on the greatness of H2O. But once you get away from that, I have fun with the movie. I mean, it's not a great movie. It's just like stupid fun.
Hey man. Resurrection is like a ring pop. Yeah, it's silly as hell, but it tastes so fucking good.
I'll give a couple positives. I think the score is really good, and I think Michael Myers is good.
I think
Resurrection, you gotta
Michael Myers with any other serial killer. It's a fun 2000 slasher.
Yeah.
All right, Derek. Do you have a problem that Busta Rhymes roundhouse kicked Michael? Because I think it's the best scene in the entire franchise.
What?
Drew, back me up on this.
It's funny.
Okay, Derek.
Have you ever seen Napoleon Dynamite?
Yeah, I love Napoleon Dynamite, dude.
And then he's like, hit me with the kick and I'll block it.
Okay, so Uncle Rico should have roundhouse kicked him. Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying that's how cheesy that roundhouse kick was.
I think it was badass, dude. I think they put Busta Rhymes through extensive kung fu training with the Grand Dragon out in Tokyo for 6 weeks.
No, he watched one movie and then he knew kung fu apparently.
Yeah, I checked this out when I was on the Sausage Tractor show I do with Pizzo. They were all saying they bet that Busta Rhymes actually thinks he was badass in the movie, and I think he does too. I think Busta Rhymes has the posters over his big bed in the bedroom, and when he's banging his hose, he's like, "Yeah, baby, I killed Michael Myers. I'm a bad son bitch, baby. Look at them posters up there." I bet you he loves that movie. But nobody. Okay, check this out. Nobody really gives Tyra Banks any hell. Do you guys have a problem with Tyra Banks in the movie? I think she's gorgeous.
She pretty much sucks.
She doesn't.
She's eye candy. She's beautiful. Why can't that be enough?
She does because she doesn't get naked. What's the point?
Well, you got a picture. Like they didn't pay enough for Tyra to get naked. Number one, they would have had to shell out a lot more money. I would have taken Busta Rhymes naked. To hell with
What?
it. But could they have topped H2O? Could they have really have topped H2O? How do you beat that ending? That was my first instance of a Halloween movie. You can't decide that. They're making one. They made too much money. Mustafa says we got to make another one. How do you make it better? Do you like that's what I'm getting at? Do you make a better movie than H2O or a 90% better movie than H2O?
I'll tell you what I did last time that really changed my perspective on it, made it a lot more enjoyable.
You got drunk and watched it.
I start the movie after the Laurie Strode stuff because the Laurie Strode stuff just puts me in such a bad mood. I just want to turn the movie off every time. So, like the last time I watched it, I started after that, and I had a lot of fun with it. But that opening scene is just, I hate it so much.
You know what, dude? Think about this, though, Derek. Honestly, okay. They got him. You're a producer, okay? You're a producer for Miramax. Hopefully, you're not Harvey Weinstein, but you're a producer, right? These movies are making you way too much money, Derek. Okay, now your girl's getting ready to go to college. They want to go to the best college. You have to make another Halloween movie because H2O put so much money in your pockets. You had to buy bigger pants. Okay, you have to make another movie. Jamie says, "I'll do the opening scene. You have to kill me." Bottom line, you have to have her in the movie, right? Because she was the star of Kill Her. Okay, so you kill her. Give them credit for this, Derek. Okay, meet me halfway. They went into the fucking danger zone because this whole franchise was Michael going after one of the family members, right? Now Michael is aimless. Him wanting to go to his house, okay, I buy into that. Do you buy into that, Derek? Like, okay, what else is he going to do? He's going to go to his house, right? Like, I think the movie had some parts that was like, okay, I'm with y'all. It was just silly characters. And honestly, it was Busta Rhymes. Yeah, he's horrible. I mean, he's not a good actor, period. Like, to hell with the Kung Fu stuff, he's just not a good actor. But, dude, they went into the danger zone. They finally were doing something different with the franchise. And granted, it failed. But you got to give it up to them for trying, man. You know what I mean? Like, they really gave it hell.
I do agree on that.
Yeah,
you know what
they
did differently in this movie than all the sequels? They didn't have a family member being chased after Michael Myers after Laurie Strode is killed. Did you know?
I'm saying, like they went for it. They just do. They went for it, and they got Rick Rosenthal back. I mean, you think people would have a soft spot for the film because of that? Because he directed, quite honestly, arguably the best sequel. Some people would say Halloween 2 is the best sequel. Some people like it the most. One of the things
that can't go unnoticed about Resurrection is how wonderfully they recreated the Myers house.
Yes,
absolutely. And dude, they were ahead of their time. Dude, these found footage type things where it was like wreck movies and stuff, dude, they were going for it. Rick threw a Hail Mary with this movie. And I'm forever not grateful, but I dab him. I give Rick so much credit for fucking going for it. He went into the danger zone twice.
Christian, this has to culminate with you doing your next video in a Dangertainment shirt.
That's fine. I'll do it, you know.
Please do it.
You know.
I'm not gonna lie, that was probably the best Halloween Resurrection defense that I've ever heard.
Well, look, dude. Look, here's the thing. I have no problem. Saying, of course, it's not quote unquote, you know, Oscar nominating. It's not, you know. But like, dude, you gotta put yourself in their shoes, and that's not a way of just saying you can't think a movie's bad, because that's not what I'm saying. But it's just like, guys, think of what they had to go up against. Jamie's out. She doesn't want to do anymore, so she's got to die. What else do you do?
Okay, guys, look at what this says on the screen. I didn't really understand what Colton's telling us. What does this mean?
Oh God, is that Heartbreaker?
Yeah.
He doesn't want to admit it. He doesn't want to admit it, but he just likes it ironically. That's the truth.
Okay. Oh God, please read this. I'm listening.
He said, "I'm telling you, I love everything about the movie. Busta Rhymes is so fucking funny. Trick or treat, motherfucker. Go back to your job. That's your job." I didn't know what man.
Oh, he's quoting the movie.
Go back
But,
to your...
but you know, Derek, I'm not speaking to you directly, Derek. I'm just speaking out for the movie because, dude, they went for it.
I liked your outside the box opinion because it's so easy to just shit on the movie, but you made a really awesome defense there.
And dude, Derek, think about this, dude. Rick went into the danger zone twice, dude. Making a sequel. Now, granted, dude, I bet you Halloween was already considered like a fucking classic after it came out. And Rick went for it and made the sequel. He said, I'm going to direct this damn sequel and I'm going to kill it. And he did. I think he did a great job. You know, granted, John wrote the movie, right, with his brother and sister stuff, but he made a good movie. He had a lot of help with Dean. But, dude, he went for it twice. No other men can say they did that.
Yeah, I don't know
two Halloween films.
Yet, but personally, I prefer the brother and sister angle to the franchise. And one thing that always bothers me, right? I'm sure that there's more to this, right? But like every time John Carpenter talks about that, he's like, "Oh yeah, I wrote that one night when I was drunk." And I'm like, "Were you drunk when you handed it in? Were you drunk when y'all were filming it and y'all like decided to go through with it?" Like,
I don't buy that.
Yeah,
like decided.
It's a cop out.
To go with this. It's a cop out, exactly.
It's like the whole Adam Marcus, like Sean Cunningham, Jason Goes to Hell thing. Like Sean tries to go back and say, like, no, I didn't say take Jason out of the movie. Like it's it's like revisionist. It's like revisionist history. John Carpenter knows people didn't like that, so he's doing like
this is kind of this reminds me of The Hills Have Eyes Part 2. People think the movie sucks because Wes Craven said it sucks. Everybody just assumes the movie sucks. Nobody saw the movie.
And it doesn't even suck.
I watched the movie.
I've never seen it.
Michael Berryman is as charming as ever. And that's not a good way to describe The Hills Have Eyes, for God's sake. But
and
damn
Jupiter's great in that movie.
Dude, it's so fun. It's F-U-N fun. But because Wes dismisses it, everybody just takes him at face value for it because he directed the damn thing. So, I like just imagine, Derek, you got any brothers and sisters?
I have 4 brothers and a sister.
Okay, imagine all those sons of bitches are trying to kill you. much less a stranger. Dude, think about that. They know where you are. They know what you're doing. You know, you gotta think. It's great, man. I think the brother and sister shit's great. Okay, we need to move on because we got to talk about the legends of the Rob Zombie films.
Oh god!
I just rewatched it today.
So
can we enjoy it again?
Hold on. Can we put a fork in Resurrection? Can we all agree? Can we meet? Can we have a bonfire session about Resurrection and say, you know what, guys? You know what, guys? Let's bury the hatchet. Resurrection is here to stay. We will be doing a legendary commentary one day on the Firefly Family Podcast. We'll bring you guys on. We'll have a beer on the show. We'll cheers to Busta Rhymes. And we'll all buy Halloween Resurrection posters, shirts, hats, socks, underwear. You know, we're going to go for it. Does that sound good, guys?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's watchable, yeah.
All right, so let's move on.
Let me ask you guys a question. So we're going to Rob Zombie's Halloween 1 and 2. Does anybody like one of them and hate the other? Because I like his first Halloween, but I don't like his second Halloween.
Both of them are better than most of them. Now what?
Exactly. Both of them are better than most of them.
Okay, but Derek, go ahead, Derek. Because I don't want to just dismiss you. Let me know. What do you think about Rob Zombie's Halloween? Right?
I love it. I love his first Halloween. Like it's borderline 5th in the franchise for me. Like I like everything about his. Well, not everything, but especially the theatrical cut of his first one. I think it's really good. I don't love a lot of the child stuff in the beginning, but I don't hate it as much as other people do. And I like how brutal Myers is. I like the blood, the gore, the high body count.
The only blood, the kills, gores, and effects in A.
It definitely in his first one.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead, Corey.
I like it a lot, and I just said I rewatched it today, like right before the stream. I was going to but it's weird with both the Rob Zombie Halloween movies. I've never hated them, but I've never loved them, and as I've watched them more, I've appreciated them a little more every time.
Because they're a fresher breath of air, right? They're a breath of fresh air.
They are, and a lot of people, I think, rag on them more because they're trying to be different, which they should be for a remake, I think, in my opinion. But like, whenever I don't know, like, it's to me they're pretty solid movies. They're not my favorites in the franchise, but I think they're definitely not the worst at all. They're good. They're just not my favorite, but they're up there though.
All right, Drew, I'm gonna let you go for both of us, man, because you're gonna say it better than I will.
All right. Well, first of all, there's nothing about it I don't love. I love everything about it. First and foremost, okay, look, I'm not gonna just like go off. I'm like, oh, it's so hilarious. I'm just gonna be real with you, okay? First of all, I'm a Rob Zombie fan, obviously. I love his style. I love his comedy. I love the opening of the movie. I think Ronnie's hilarious. I think that William Forsythe is over the top in the best possible way. I think that Judith is pretty entertaining in her moments here. The kid stuff, with Daz or whatever the hell his name is. I like it. I love the way he kicks the Spy Kid's ass. I love how both of these guys are leaving while I'm talking about it, by the way. And I also think that the score is great. Tyler Bates' score is fantastic. And to make a long story short, I think it's very entertaining. I think it's well paced. I like it more than the entire Thorn trilogy. It's not even close to me. There's a big gap between my enjoyment of all that. I don't have a bad thing to say about it. I love it. The best mask since H2.
Yeah, the mask is really good.
I just want to understand why people love Devil's Rejects and don't like Halloween, because all that is Halloween and Devil's Rejects not 2000. Devil's Rejects and Halloween have a baby, and that's the Halloween you get. Well, explain to me, is it because you find out about him as a kid?
I'm gonna tell
Jesus
you
Christ! Jesus Christ! John Carpenter made scenes about the kid for the TV movie back in '80. How was that any different?
Here's what it is. I'm gonna give you a new vocab term.
Oh,
it's
God, here we
it's
go.
remakeism. People hate it just because it's a remake. Like some people just have remakeism and sequelism. Like all sequels are bad. The original's always the best. All remakes are bad. The original's always the best. Like that's just
Isn't that weird, Derek? Like, isn't that weird, Derek? I have friends who are so like enamored by a film that they just do not have they can't comprehend that a sequel could be good. Like, I have a friend who, no matter how much I tell her, watch Exorcist 3, you'll love it. She's like, oh,
Exorcist 3 is amazing.
She just doesn't think it's going to be anywhere near as good as the original. I'm like, it kind of is almost near as good.
Yeah.
I think it's one of the greatest psychological movies ever made. Jesus Christ. Literally.
Yep. I can't wait to rewatch and review that franchise eventually.
Dude, Rob Zombie's Halloween delivers. It's a full course meal. It's a full course meal. Fantastic music to me. Dude,
yep.
Joe Grizzly. That scene with Joe. Dude, first of all, Joe Grizzly. Let me tell y'all something. Y'all want to talk about like badass motherfuckers in the Halloween franchise? Joe Grizzly went toe to toe with Michael. Oh, it's a bad scene. Jesus Christ. Why is it okay for Jamie to go up against Michael, but Joe Grizzly can't fucking give it hell? Dude, Joe Grizzly looked him dead in his corneal sockets and said, I'm good. He went up to him. Joe Grizzly went for it and got his ass handed to him. And I respect that, man. Yeah. He said, you better take this one up the arches or I'm going to give you an ass.
Miscommunication going around here.
Christian, are you there? We might have lost Christian.
Oh, he left like Joe Grizzly. I'm Joe Grizzly.
All right, you guys already spoke on it though, right? Did you, Corey?
On what? On Joe Grizzly?
Rob Zombie's Halloween. You did, right?
Yeah, I just said that I do enjoy it.
Yeah, you said you rewatched it today, right?
What?
You rewatched it today?
Yeah, I'm gonna rewatch the second one tonight or tomorrow.
Which cut did you watch?
I've only seen the director's cut of each.
You've never seen the theatrical?
I've seen the theatrical of 2, but I haven't seen the theatrical of 1. But I actually found
more both is better.
It's a lot better. Bill Moseley is in the theatrical. Bill Moseley and Sid Hager in the theatrical cut.
Nice. I actually bought the original theatrical cut today at a pawn shop for $1, so I'm gonna watch it.
There you go.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a lot better. You'll like it.
Yes. One thing I'm gonna say about the remake of Halloween, I really love unabashedly, is the ending where it continues on after Michael's shot and then it keeps going. That whole thing of Laurie like in the house and then him getting her and throwing her outside, like them tackling her outside the window and her shooting him.
He beats the fuck out of her, man. It's awesome.
That last act is epic. I love it.
Yeah.
Yes, it's so well, and I love the fact that he keeps it familiar with the ending of the original, but he continues on and makes it his own. And I really like makes it his own. Whether people like it or not, I appreciate the fact that he made it so different.
Yeah.
I think he even said too, like I listened to the commentary today, and he said that I think with the stuff that stays familiar, like it's not as much the thing that he likes. He'd rather do different, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because Christian, I think he's back. Doing I think he had to have regulations where he had to do the same some things, and that's why Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 I like more than the first one, but I still like him pretty close. But I like how Rob Zombie did do his own thing in the second one, and it actually was a breath of fresh air in the franchise.
My name's Joe Grizzly, bitch.
Yes.
Let's get to the second one. It's about
bitches.
It's about to get
This is gonna be a really bad topic because Derek hates 2. I like 2 a lot, and you guys love it.
We got all spectrums because they both love it. You're kind of like it, Corey, and I hate it.
Look, I don't want to be long-winded, guys. Let me jump in with my one thing I'm going to say about Halloween 2. And if you disagree, that's fine, but you better give me a damn good reason. Are you guys ready? Halloween. Listen, why y'all laughing? You think I'm playing? I'm about to hit. Listen. Drew knows what's coming. Drew knows what's coming. Okay, and I know he knows this.
I have
say what you want.
That it's coming.
Say what you want about Halloween 2, Rob Zombies. The absolute best performance in the entire Halloween anything is Brad Dourif as the sheriff when he sees his daughter dead. That performance is so incredibly hard to watch because Brad Dourif is such a class actor. That is Rob Zombie got the best performance from an actor in any Halloween movie. You watch that and tell me you don't get goosebumps and just pain going through your body seeing him react to his daughter, which is something no Halloween film really wanted to tackle. The actual levity of a death in a movie, the levity of a daughter dying in a Halloween movie, dead in a bathroom. No movie wanted to tackle the realism of that. Rob Zombie went there and got one of the most disturbing performances from Brad Dourif. Argue that. Go ahead. Anybody. I fucking dare you.
I'm not arguing that at all. I gotta say, and this is gonna make Derek triggered, but Scout Taylor Compton in this movie as Laurie Strode,
sexy as hell.
Truly, there he goes. He's walking away. She really is truly moving in this movie. Her descent.
Great performance.
So
moving me to turn the movie off.
What?
Moving me to turn the movie off.
Well, Derek, I think here's the thing, Derek. My argument to that would be, you just don't like the fact that she's got a personality, for God's sakes. I mean, in the original movie of Halloween, dude. Now I love it, but none of them really have personalities. They do, but Rob Zombie lets these girls hone in on who they are, and Scout Taylor is, to me, she's fantastic. Now, I completely respect your opinion, Derek. I'm just giving you a hard time. I really am, because I like it.
No, we actually said that about the original before you got here. Me and Corey did that.
You know, it's a very, and it's a primitive movie, man. It's a primitive movie, but it's done so well. I don't think it's a, I wouldn't argue it's a masterpiece. I really wouldn't. I just think it was a cheap movie made extremely well. And that's the best thing I could say about Halloween. And it is a classic. So in that case, in that regards, it is a masterpiece. But dude, Zombie was able to get some amazing performances. Brad Dourif as the sheriff completely obliterates any performance I've seen in a Halloween movie. Derek, pull up that movie and watch when he finds his daughter. The way Zombie does this thing where he cuts the music off, and it's almost silent, and you're just seeing Brad Dourif's face. Jesus Christ, it's painful to watch because Brad Dourif emotes so much.
In general, like when she sees Michael in the mirror and Laurie comes home and finds her dead body, like that whole scene is honestly, it's like the only scene I like in the whole movie.
I'm getting voice messages from Heartbreaker, guys. I don't know what's going on here.
He's probably.
But Derek, my thing is this: you have to take, and I'm not trying to change your mind, but Derek, you haven't touched on this yet, or Corey, because I don't know. You have to take the lore of the Halloween franchise out of this movie, and you have to just say, you know what? Let's see what Rob Zombie's just going to give me. I'm just going to watch this movie. I loved it from the first time I saw it, but I would say I don't like it because everybody was saying that. Like, and then I was finally like, you know what? I'm taking this mask off. I really like this movie. It's so enjoyable. The rewatch is twice as much than his first Halloween for me. And I love his first Halloween. I will pop on Halloween 2 every day of the week, twice on Sunday, because you get so much sugar and spice in that movie. The band, the festival, and that, it's great stuff. Right on, sister. I love that guy in the movie. So I just love the movie.
I don't know. I don't know if you guys know this on top of your head, but was this Margot Kidder's last horror movie? Like, cause she was in this as the psychiatrist. I just thought about that in my head. You guys know
that poor psychiatrist.
I don't know. I have no idea.
Okay, I was curious. I was thinking about that. I'm gonna have to look it up because I was like, she just passed. I don't know how many. Was it a year or a couple years ago? But
I'm sure you can IMDb her.
Yep. Yes, Big D agrees, Derek. He likes her performance as well.
Oh, I'm just waiting. I'm going to go in a minute. When y'all are done, I'm going to go in on this one.
I'm done, bro.
Well, that's okay.
And I'm not. I didn't mean to sound that dramatic. I was trying to give my best radio voice. But I really, in all seriousness, because I was being silly, I really do think Brad Dourif's performance in that movie is some of the greatest acting in the Halloween franchise I've ever seen. I really do.
I agree. That whole scene is amazing. I like that scene because I think most people either love both his Halloweens or they hate both his Halloweens. But I'm kind of a little bit different than a lot of people. Like, I love his first Halloween, but I don't like his second Halloween at all because I feel like he didn't do a lot of things that worked right in the first one. Like, a lot of the characters were kind of towing the line in the first one, and I feel like there's nobody to really root for in this one because I get that he's trying to make Laurie have realistic PTSD, but she's, especially in the director's cut, I've seen both. Laurie is such a bitch. Oh my god!
What the hell was that?
That's my alarm.
The dog's barking.
Oh, geez, that was a weird one.
Derek, let me jump on here real quick and say something. You know what I do think is very believable in this movie? I genuinely do think this was actually believable. Dr. Loomis in this movie wants to profit off of Michael. That makes so much sense to me. We live in a capitalistic society. So instead of wanting to track this guy down, and granted, I'm not comparing him to Donald Pleasance's character in the Halloween franchise because we love him. There's nothing I can say negative about that. I'm not even trying to compare. But I love the fact that Zombie tried to make Loomis realistic in this movie, and all he wants to do is make money off of being the doctor of this crazed patient. Look at him making the books, going on the talk shows. Dude, we live in a capitalistic society. When I saw that, I was like, you know what? I really like this. It's so realistic to me. The fact that all he wants to do is make money, I loved that. I thought it was a breath of fresh air making Loomis do that. So I thought that was great. I love Loomis and Halloween too. This is old Loomis. This is the new Loomis.
Yes.
I think it was realistic, how Laurie and Loomis were portrayed, but I didn't like it though. I gotta have likable characters, and I feel like I couldn't get behind either of them, and it just made me mad that you had Annie, Danielle Harris, who had basically gone through something very similar to Laurie, and she was such a nice character, and then Laurie was just a dick to everybody in this movie, her therapist, her friend,
Well, Rob Zombie did say
everything.
that, like, since they're connected, her and Michael, like, she might have those same kind of tendencies where she just becomes really enraged and like furious.
Yeah, like
Right.
I get it. Like it makes sense, but you don't have the likable characters. And I feel like I didn't count the bodies, but I feel like there's a lot less kills in this movie than there was in like his first Halloween, especially if you count that thing that always pisses me off when they make you think something happens and it's a fake out. Looking at you, Last Jedi, that also does this too. When they have the hospital fake out dream sequence, that makes me really mad too.
What was that, dude? Wasn't that a great scene though? I mean, yeah, it's a dream sequence, but damn,
It didn't happen is the thing. Like it was a great scene, but those kills didn't happen.
But no, but none of it's all movies though. None of it happened. You know what I mean?
You know what I'm. You know, yeah, I got you.
But see, Derek, that's I think you really like to get lost in these movies, and I like that, and I do
really
too.
do.
But I appreciate a good scene, and whether it's real or not, sure, I won't lie to you. Sure, I could be like, damn, that was a dream. God Almighty. But man, what a great sequence! Like I loved it. I thought the way he brutalized that nurse, the one who played Ma in that movie, which was that Blumhouse movie.
When he stabs her like a
dude. Oh my God, dude, that's rough. Dude, it's
that
so
was
rough.
Really brutal. That's the most. Is that the most brutal kill in the franchise? Or one of the
it
most
might
brutal?
be.
Okay, here's the thing. Here's the other thing I want to say about Halloween 2. Everybody wants to praise the boot smash in Halloween 2018. I think everybody's forgetting about the way Daniel Phillips gets his face smashed in Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 outside of the strip club. Dude, Myers stomps the hell out of his face in Halloween 2. Good God!
Too, whenever you see it later, it's like,
dude, his face, yeah, because he hangs them in the strip club. Dude, that face smash, I watched them consecutively. I was like, let me see which one's more brutal. I mean, obviously, the Halloween 2018 one was great, dude. That dude gets his face smashed. But I just love the Hot Rob Zombie one. That one's just like, ooh, man, it was disgusting. So they're both great, but I think people forget about that one because everybody's like, oh my God, the face smash in Halloween 2018. Oh my God. I'm like, guys, you don't remember Jeffrey in Halloween 2? Dude, he got trashed, literally, because he's by the dumpster when he got his face smashed, man. So. But that goes to my thing. Like, why do you guys see? You love that in Halloween 2018. What's wrong with it in Halloween 2? Like, what's wrong with it? Now, I could have done away the Hobo Myers. Sure, it makes sense. The fact that he's got a big beard and stuff. I just wish the mask wouldn't have been all broken up. I wish it would have covered his whole face.
That was stupid.
But that's once again, it's something that makes sense, and that's fine. But I just wish the mask would have been all crumpled, but not had huge chunks missing out of it. Just because I thought it would have been, because I love the way the mask looks in Halloween, in Rob Zombie's Halloween. So I just wanted to see more of it in Halloween too. But sure, you know what? Okay, it's a latex mask. Of course, it's gonna get beaten and battered. Whatever. I'm fine with that. But I don't know. Hobo Myers, it is what it is. It's a unique look. It's different. You love it or hate it. But Myers is still a threat in the movie, so it is what it is to me. I'm not gonna harp on it too much, but I do love the way Myers looks in Rob Zombie's Halloween 1, especially when he's in the Strode's house in the middle of the movie. God, man, he looks so freaky in that house.
Yes.
So. But I know Big D said he likes some parts of Halloween 2 now.
It has scenes I like. I just feel like the pacing could have been better because I feel like in the second one you've got to invest more in the characters because there's less kills, less action, and then like I've said, I can't get invested in any of the characters except for Brad Dourif and Annie. That's it. I can't really get invested in any of the other characters, and
that's fair.
That's kind of I don't know. It's just kind of boring to me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I like Ogre Boy 1992. Dr. Phil would have done the same if he was Michael's doctor. I think he's referring to what I thought Dr. Loomis did in Halloween 2. Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if maybe Zombie was like, we need to make you like a Dr. Phil type, man. You're all about making money and being a star. And I like that. I like that analogy.
That was a really good point, Christian.
So. But, it's just, over time you watch these movies. That's the thing about these Halloween movies, Derek. It's just like, man, it's like they somehow morph. They're not changing. They're printed on these discs, man. But you watch them over the years, dude, and they'll morph in front of your eyes. And
it's like
one movie will be like,
you notice more and more stuff like that elevator scene in Halloween 2 didn't bother me when I was a little kid, but like when you watch something 30, 40 times, like certain things just start to stick out to you more.
Yeah.
Or like when you
Absolutely.
learn more about, sometimes there has been some movies that I didn't like to start that I've liked over time. There's no hope for Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 to be one of those. So
that's fine. It's totally fun, man.
I still don't think it's the worst in the franchise. Like
it's dude. It's cayenne pepper. You either love cayenne pepper or you don't. And to me, I love cayenne pepper. I'm from the South, so it's a strong spice, and that's fair. I'm not gonna argue you not liking the film. That's completely understandable.
Yeah.
All I can do is tell you what I really like about it, and I think that's why we're doing this. So
exactly.
We ready to do 2018? Our last one.
I'm ready. Is Drew still
Nobody's going to let me talk about Rob Zombie's Halloween 2?
Well, you ain't said nothing in a country minute.
I've been waiting.
I was about to message you and be like, I was like, where is Drew? Like, is he?
I'm just waiting idly.
Go ahead.
All right, first of all, I want someone to answer this question for me real quick.
Almost done.
What kind of a horror movie with 18 kills is like a low amount of kills? I don't understand that. 18 kills, and we're talking about kills that contain anywhere between like 6 to 12 stabbings for one person. I think Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 is a masterpiece, and I'm not joking at all. I think it's one of the best horror movies of the 2010s. I would have nothing against someone putting this as their favorite of the franchise because it deserves it.
You don't follow me.
Considering how amazing it is in every way. I mean, the acting is phenomenal. The character arcs are beyond fleshed out. They're incredible. Michael Myers is easily the most brutal he's ever been in this movie. What he's doing between like the time he's gone in Halloween is like the best explanation possible. This is what Michael Myers would be doing. He wouldn't be laying down in a coma in a shack, with some random ass dude. This is like the perfect execution. It's perfect. I love everything about it.
No argument.
I watched Jason Smith's review of it, and he said it's one of his favorite slashers ever, and I could see that.
It's definitely one of the best.
And once again, guys, I'm telling you, that performance from Brad Dourif, if anybody's listening or anybody listens that just thinks I'm being silly, I dare you to go back and watch it. I'm telling you, Jesus almighty, what a performance. Fantastic. Best thing
I really
in
love
any
Scout
Halloween
too.
movie.
Just him and Scout are
You should never expect less from Brad Dourif. He always brings his A++ game.
Yeah. All right, well, there we go. Halloween 2018. Halloween 2, Rob Zombie is good. Derek's wrong. Derek, totally kidding. I got a feeling, though, Derek's going to say Halloween 2018 is better than both Rob Zombie movies. I can't wait for Corey to tell him why he's wrong.
I actually agree, too. I mean, I do really like I really like 2018 a lot. So
that's fine. I'm being silly, but I'm trying to open the door. I'm trying to open the door to.
Well, I didn't want you to get all excited and I'd be like, oh, well, I like 2018 more than both, but I like the other two a lot though. Again, it's like it's hard to rank these because I love a majority of them. So it's like, how do I rank them?
It's easy. It's easy. One movie has Joe Grizzly, the other one doesn't.
Yes, that's how it works.
Somebody go ahead, because I really don't know what to say about Halloween 2018. So I kind of want to see where everybody else is at on this.
All right. So I'd say. So how I rank these movies, I have the first one, and then I have Halloween 2 at 81, and then I have 2018. H2O, and it was really hard for me to choose between H2O and 2018 because they both got great strengths to them. Anyway, 2018, I think, in terms of brutality, is not the Rob Zombie brutality, but I think it's some of the best. And I think I know a lot of people don't like the better, but I actually liked Allison's film a lot, and I really did like Laurie's story. Like in terms of performance and just in terms of realism, I guess. And I don't know what else to say. I like it a lot.
So do you have any storyline complaints with it, Corey? I mean, you were on board with what they did? Anything you would have changed? Anything you were just like, I think they should have done that?
Well, the thing about the erasing the brother-sister thing, you don't see really a difference between that and there's literally nothing that changes or contradicts them being brother or sister. So I don't get why they didn't like it. I mean, I understand the point that they're making, like, oh, it's the random crazy guy now, like the first one, but it literally does not do much difference in the story. Like H2O, if you did erase that too, it wouldn't have mattered. So I feel like having that erased, the brother sister thing, doesn't really need to happen. I would have been fine having that again, honestly. But okay. I mean, I understand where they went because you did the rest of the franchise with them related, but it just doesn't, I don't know. To me, you could have just kept it, and it didn't have to be taken away. I would have preferred them having the brother-sister thing. I think it makes more sense logically in how they would be connected instead of having the doctor take Michael on that road to get to Laurie Strode in the movie. So, instead of that.
You know what I say to that, Corey? It's interesting. We can talk about. I remember I was telling Derek this. I was like, Derek, look, they don't need to have Daniel Harris and H2O, and they don't need to have all that stuff because it makes the movies no money. It doesn't make them any extra money. But with the brother and sister thing, if it was the main point of Halloween H2O, like, there's no reason they couldn't have done it with this movie. The way that they erased it in Halloween 2018 was ridiculous. Like, you're going to tell me they're not brother and sister? Just don't even mention it. Don't give me a scene where a kid says, hey, are they brother and sister? No, I don't think so. Just don't even have that scene. Don't even have it in the movie. It's just like if you guys are going to just don't even mention it. And it's like, don't ask, don't tell. But you give me that? I keep seeing bloody disgusting posts 17 times a day. All these YouTubers making videos about this. And then the way they erase it is because a kid asks a question. Just don't even say it. What's the point? The honeymoon period has worn off for me. The best thing about the movie to me was the music. I thought they killed the music. Good God, the score is a 10 out of 10.
You didn't like we don't have this Myers portrayal?
Oh, I love James Hugh Courtney. I thought he was great. I thought there was I enjoy the movie. I really do. I just think the honeymoon period is gone. When I watched it in the theater, I was like, holy crap, that was so fun. And I do think the movie is so fun. I do. I don't have any major complaints. I really don't. I'm just really racking my brain on what's going on now. My issue is not Halloween 2018. My issue now is this pandering to the hardcore fans. We got to bring all these people back now. What are we doing here, guys? Like if I'm talking to these David Gordon Green stuff, what are we doing? Are we moving this thing forward? Or are we going back into the past again? Like, what's going on? I don't need Kyle Richards. Who needs Kyle Richards, dude? She's a housewife. She's on one of these TV shows. Well, why does she need to come back? Like, well, what the hell's going on? You could, I don't know. They're not going to try to do anything different. They're not, because look what happened with Resurrection. They got panned. Everybody, granted, they could have attacked it better, but my issue is not Halloween 2018. My big concern is where we're going, because to me we're nostalgia. We're going nostalgia everywhere all over again, and I just got concerns. I want to move this thing forward. Let's do something different. Let's go back into the danger zone, guys. Like Kenny Loggins said, let's go into the danger zone. I thought the movie was a fantastic theater experience, though. I really did.
It was.
I went in because you got to think, dude. The perception of this movie was so. Everybody was like, "Oh my God, Halloween's!" Dude, could you imagine? Do you guys remember the hype for this before it happened? How big was the hype, guys? Like it was it was like standing in front of a cannon, waiting for it to go off in your face. Like that's how big a buildup was. Of course, it wasn't going to live up to the hype of that for anybody. Some people may think it did. It didn't for me because, dude, I was expecting to die in that theater. That's how good I thought that movie was going to be. Like, you know what I mean? Because that's how big the hype was. I've watched it 5 or 6 times. I think it's perfectly fine. I have no problems with it. I think it's a well-made movie. At this point, I could give a shit about the storylines and stuff because it's just like I have no idea what else to do. I really don't. Just give me something visually stimulating and give me some good music. I'm good to go. But the shit we're going in the future with all this nostalgia crap, everybody's coming back. We're bringing back this person. We're bringing back this person. That's fine, whatever. I fear we're pandering to the hardcore fans too much, and I hope I'm wrong. I hope the movies are just as enjoyable. I hope we get visually stimulating scenes, great music again. I expect no less from John Carpenter, and that's it. So that's all I got to really say. I don't have any issues with Halloween 2018. I think it's a welcomed addition. You know, in the same way I think 3 from Hell is a welcomed addition to the Firefly family movies. And that's that for me. So I don't really have any major issues. I'm just really racking my brain on what we're doing here with these next 2 movies, bringing everybody back. We may as well bring the Bush back from Halloween 1. So that's all I got to say. So I really don't have much comments. It's just that's what I'm thinking, and that's what I'm gonna leave it at that.
For me, it's my favorite sequel, but like all the Halloween sequels have some kind of like flaws with them. Like I like all the Halloween sequels, but like there's no movie that's really that close to being perfect besides the first one. Like I love the Myers portrayal. I love the kills. I love how he snaps that kid's neck in the car, you know. And I was really, because I just watched it last week, and I really loved how, like, he went on that rampage in the town and just started killing random people. But I don't like how the last act of the movie was handled. Like, I don't hate the Sartain thing as much as other people, but why do we gotta have, like, a Michael Laurie showdown for, like, the 5th time, and then they have like the most sellout ending ever. Like they don't kill anybody at the end. All 3 of the girls live, and Michael Myers basically escapes the fire. So like, what was the purpose of the movie? The whole
I'll
movie
tell you why, Derek.
Derek,
I'll tell you why. With the exception of maybe Halloween 4, Derek, and maybe Resurrection, I don't know. Michael and Laurie is the only movies that really made a shit ton of money. And besides, even with Rob Zombies, but it's still Laurie Strode. Going back in history, Michael and Laurie makes money. Mm-hmm. So I mean, that's why. And I agree with you. Let's go into the danger zone. Let's do something different, Derek. I'm with you. I'm giving you the producer's point of view on that. You know what I mean?
I would have killed Laurie Strode off.
I'd have killed her years ago.
Herself at 2018, she should have sacrificed herself at the end, or at least kill her daughter or something. Like you're gonna, what is this, like a Scream movie where all 10 of the main characters live at the end every time? I mean, come on.
I'm with you. Let's take some risks. Let's kill somebody. I mean,
gotta have some stakes there. The ending just felt so like sellout to me. Not to say it's a bad ending, but I feel like the ending is just a waste of time. She builds like this big giant trap for him, and you have 40 years to build this, and it's something he easily escapes. Like, are you fucking kidding me?
Well, what if the movie would have ended there, Derek? Like, what if they wouldn't have been sequels? Like, I don't know. It's kind of got the Paranormal Activity
have some balls like H2O in them. Like,
yeah, I agree.
I've gotten to where I really hate the sequel bait ending. That's why Friday the 13th Part 4 is like one of my favorite movies of all time.
It's one of the greatest movies on the.
It doesn't have that bullshit sequel bait ending, really.
Yeah, well, that's the way movies are, man.
Well, I have very major problems with Halloween 2018, and I'll tell you about them right now. I'll tell you, when I was in the theater and I first watched this movie, and they were doing that opening scene where the podcasters are going to the asylum, like as that was progressing, like everything that I was getting from it, like the lack of atmosphere, the lines that were being delivered, just everything. I was like, is this a joke or something? Like, am I? Is this like a is this like a fake out trailer and the movie's going to start soon? Because this isn't what they went with, right? Like, this movie has no atmosphere, none. That's like probably one of the most important things you should be focusing on if you are going into this film, as they stated many times during the production of this movie. If you're going to be paying homage to the 1978 film, they really went out of their way to make a point to say, we don't care about all the sequels. We're not going to make them brother and sister. This is going to be in the vein, in respect to the original 1978 film. And you have no atmosphere. You have no atmosphere, and that's one of the key things you need in a Halloween movie. Halloween 2 has great atmosphere. Halloween 2018 has zero atmosphere. I'm sorry, like, I know people defend this, and it's fine. Like, we could just different opinion. I do not buy Laurie Strode's character in this movie. It's ridiculous. It's stupid. It's just, I can't get on board with it. I can't bring my brain to that level. I just can't.
I agree.
It makes sense. Her character makes sense in Halloween H2O, and that in and of itself is an extreme case of somebody reacting to that. But that I can buy into. Cannot buy her. Now, this is obviously my opinion. I know people feel the exact opposite about it. I do not care for any of the other characters. I don't like Allison at all. I don't find her interesting. There's nothing about her that I gravitated towards. Judy Greer, 110% phoned her performance in. I don't know what the hell that was about. Her husband is fucking ridiculous in that movie. I don't know. They shouldn't. She should have just been a single mom or something. Like, that should have been like a trait she got from her mom, because her husband was useless in every possible way. He just did nothing for the movie. And
one more for the body count.
Right? Yeah. There you go. That's the best purpose he served, was adding to the body count. Okay. But having said that, the score is obviously amazing.
Yeah.
James Jude Courtney is amazing. Jamie Lee Curtis's character, while a little bit unbelievable, is actually still acted pretty well, which I do enjoy. So at the end of the day, this movie is watchable for me. I can actually enjoy watching it more than the Thorn trilogy, to be honest with you. I think the thing about this movie to me, though, that just bothers me so much is I just was really let down, because Christian said it, where he said, like, that the expectations were just built too high, so it was never going to meet it. But it's just like, I don't blame myself for this. I don't think that I went in with too high of expectations. I think that they said it was going to be something, and it just was far from it. And so I was disappointed. But having said that, I'm excited for Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends, because now I know where to leave my expectations at. Yep. And I'm like, just give me some good kills. Let me, like, I would love to see Anthony Michael Hall take over the protagonist role. I don't really care for her daughter or her granddaughter. I put them aside. They probably won't, but if they do, that'd be great, because I'd love to see Anthony Michael Hall take the protagonist role, because I do like him. So I would love to see that. Tommy and Lindsay take over. That'd be really cool. So I do have, anticipation for these new ones. I'm excited. I'll be there day one, but I didn't get what I feel I was promised. That's what I think.
Anthony Michael Hall is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
You can all, dude, honestly, like, there's a Jekyll and Hyde to me with this movie, because, like I said, my honeymoon period, my theater experiences was so great. But honestly, like, when you really start thinking about the character of Laurie Strode, it was almost like I could have believed that, like, a super fan wrote the treatment for this, because of the way Laurie is, because it doesn't make any sense, and it's such a super fan. Like, I can picture a Halloween fanatic saying, okay, so Laurie's built this home, okay, and she's scared, like, she's ready for Michael, so she's got traps everywhere. Like, it makes no sense. It really doesn't. Like, when you really,
off of one night when two of her friends died, and that's all that happened to her.
Like, when you really break that down, guys, I mean, sometimes you gotta smell that. Like, just sometimes you gotta look it straight and, like, straight on, and just say, you know what, I don't know. But like everything else about it, like I said, the music is so damn good. I think that's what made the theater experience so incredible. And I do like the James guy. I met him at Texas Frightmare. He was just a sweetheart. I remember when I met him. real quick, I went in line to go get his autograph. I shook his hand. I said, Mr. Courtney, did you realize what you got yourself into now? I said, you're going to be doing these conventions the rest of your life. And he's like, well, I didn't, but, I'm not complaining. I was like, yeah, your pockets are going to get fat from this, man. So at least they're bringing him back. He did his job. He did it well. I'm sure he was nice on set. He was probably a joy to be around. So
I actually met him too.
Like, yeah, he's a nice guy.
Yeah, he's a cool dude.
So, but honestly, yeah. I mean, if we're gonna put our director's cap on with this, the story doesn't really. It doesn't sit right. It is too, like, it's in its own reality. Let's put it like that. This movie is in a reality far removed from our own in that sense with the Jamie character, because it really doesn't. It's just like, God damn, like, come on, man. Like, we've all been through some rough shit. Maybe we haven't all been trying to be killed, but I mean, goddamn, I went through Hurricane Katrina. Like, I don't freak out when it rains. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
She had one night where like two of her friends were killed. That's all that happened to her.
Okay, you know what makes and you know what, Derek? You know what does make sense if that happens? She gets a new alias. She goes to the police and gets a new identity. Oh, I'm sorry, they already did that movie.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
We all kind of agreed that her storyline was done better in H2O. But even then, that made more sense because H2 was continuity in that timeline.
Look, movies don't always have to take place in reality. I've got a movie on the way called Ice Cream, for God's sakes, and I know what I'm gonna get. I don't need my movies all to be set in reality, but if these Halloween movies, if that's what they're gonna try to do, look, the Thorn stuff, it's silly, but I love it because I love that kind of stuff. I don't think it's such reality. Like the rocks, they're ridiculous, but they're ridiculous in a great way for me. But if you guys want to portray reality to me, you better goddamn well give it to me. And you know what? Like that's the issue there with what happens with Laurie's character. It could have been refined better. It could have been reshaped a little bit better, and not such a dark shade of gray. If Laurie wouldn't have had such a dark shade of gray with the way she was, I would have been more okay with it. God forbid she moved on with her life and just everything seemed fine, and then Michael broke out and came after her again. I would have accepted that more. Not Tomb Raider, Laurie. It's like, good God, what, for 40 years?
Tomb Raider.
40 years? You don't even go to Applebee's one night. Jesus Christ! Like 40 years? When you really break it down, God, I'm telling y'all, I don't know.
You know what I think one of the biggest problems with the movie too is, there's a lot of times in this movie where I feel like they had all these ideas that they wanted to do and they couldn't just settle on one. And there's like a lot of things that they threw in there that just don't necessarily feel like they're all one cohesive thought. There's just all this like mixed stuff. Like,
that makes sense.
Everybody knows they changed the ending to the movie. I think the original ending they had planned was probably a lot better.
Could be.
Do you know what that was?
I think obviously it was them, Michael and Laurie fighting outside of the house, like with knives and stuff. I think she's supposed to die. Overall, that would have been more climactic because Derek made like such a great point. It's like, well, what the fuck was that ending? Like, everybody's just okay. Everybody's just fine. It's all leave.
No stakes.
Right.
I was fine with everybody being okay, but I was annoyed the shot of him not in the
stupid.
Like, I know that
you get an F on building your trap.
Right. Did you guys see the images of how he gets out of the fucking place?
Yeah. He walks out the back door. But here's the thing, guys. At the same way, like, a lot of Halloween movies have silly endings. There's a couple that have great endings, but some of them have silly endings. So it's not like they're not doing like the Halloween thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, okay, it is a ridiculous ending, but that's so Halloween on one spectrum. So it's just, I don't know. In the theater, it was gorgeous.
Yeah, I'm not going to spoil it for anybody who might be watching, but I'm just going to say this. The way he gets out, all that does is just make it even more ridiculous to believe that she obsessed over this for 40 years and didn't prepare for what happens.
Right.
So stupid.
Give me 40 years, I guarantee.
But hey, at the same time, we'll find out for sure when the movie comes out. We'll give it its due until then.
If there's enough backlash, they'll reshoot it.
Yeah, we'll give it its due. I don't know.
I'll be there, man. And I expect to have a good time. I do.
Of course. Look, and that's the thing, guys. At the end of the day, look how critical we are. But at the same time, we
Christian,
can't wait.
I don't know about you, man. I had 3 copies of that movie. 3 copies.
Oh wow!
Of Halloween 2018.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, I've got the 2 steel books. I got the original one that came out, and then the McFarlane one.
Yeah, me too. And I got.
Look, yeah. We can. That's the thing, dude. At the end of the day, we're just fans of these movies, and we just want them to be as great as we have them built up in our head. And you know what it might be that's going to make that happen, Derek? Just time. Maybe in 10 years you'll love Rob Zombie. Maybe it hasn't aged enough for you yet. Maybe Halloween 2018 needs to age. I'm serious. I'm serious, guys. When we were, I told Derek, I said, dude, sometimes these movies morph in front of your eyes. Maybe in 10 years, I'll say, oh, God, at least Halloween 2018 did this. Now, this new Halloween Inferno, whatever the hell we'll get, because they're going to keep making
Halloween Inferno.
Actually, damn.
That'd be awesome.
No, Christian, it'll be just Halloween for like the 10th time.
Yeah, they'll even make it more simple. They'll take out half the word. It'll be called holla, and that'll be it.
Holla.
I'm gonna tell y'all though, I was such a fan of the title Halloween Returns, which was the original treatment. Which, quite honestly,
great.
Oh my God, it was fantastic.
Oh my God,
which, quite honestly, movie, why not call it Halloween Returns than Halloween Ends? That makes so much more sense and looks so much better on a poster than Halloween Kills. Like I fear that the name of that I fear that the name, that title, Halloween Kills, is gonna reflect the movie in a bad way. Like, oh man, this Halloween kills, man.
Honestly, dude, I know this is just my B horror fandom coming out, but I wish it was just called Halloween 13 or something. I would just prefer that.
Oh yeah,
it'd be so cool.
Oh well.
Is there any franchise, Christian, that has no shame and has just gone that far? The only one I can think of is maybe
Phantasm. I mean, they have subtext with it.
They didn't call Phantasm Ravager Phantasm 5, but
they did.
Who's gone up the highest in numbers? That's what I want to know.
Right at 13th, maybe.
They went to 8, and then they started.
Well, and then Jason X. I know they didn't use Jason.
That's retitling it to Jason. They had to though because they couldn't use Friday the 13th. But
I'm thinking, dude. I'm really thinking.
Do it.
Puppet Master went up to 5.
Yeah.
Probably Friday the 13th with Part 8 because the Hellraiser stopped at 3.
They did. You're right. Then they started subtitling them.
Which look, because I think once you get to once you say Part 6, even a Part 5, it starts sounding silly.
Derek, you could tell me this for sure. I know that Saw 7 has so many names. Was it ever actually known as Saw 7 though?
Saw 7 was one of the names.
Okay, so it is.
I don't ever remember that. I remember it because Saw the Final Chapter, dude. I saw that in theaters. I never saw it called Saw 7, not once. And I'm a pretty big fan. I'm not trying to call you out. I never saw it called Saw 7. It was always
I always called it Saw 7. I always called it.
But dude, I remember taking pictures in front of the poster when it came out. It was Saw 3D, the final chapter, because it was a 3D movie and it was the final chapter. I never remembered anybody calling it Saw 7. People
don't ever call your movie the final chapter, but that's a whole other story for another.
Final chapter.
But honestly, it did go up to Saw 6. That was the last number they used.
You know how they make these movies, right? These spoof horror movies, and they'll call them that one Dude Bro Party Massacre 3, and it's the only one that exists. We should make a horror movie and call it the final chapter. That'd be great.
Oh man, I got Saturday the 14th on VHS. I've never watched it.
Oh yeah, that came out from Scream Factory too. I've always wondered how that movie is. I want to get that Unmasked Part 25.
Oh man, that looks gorgeous. The cover.
I gotta get those Vinegar Syndromes, man. The Amityville box set too.
Yeah, they got that Amityville set. How many damn Amityvilles were there? Because I was like, oh, cool. Vinegar put their own out, and they're like, no, man, these are 4 more sequels. I was like, God Almighty, how many are there?
There's a lot, man. There's a bunch that are even not a part of the spin-off sequels that are not connected to the original storyline. There's a shitload.
How many crazy guys? Box set, Drew?
What's that?
4 of
How
them,
many
right?
were in that box set of the Amityville box set?
The
You know,
Vinegar had 4.
Vinegar Syndrome one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the
So,
one I
like,
want to order.
Guys, let me ask you something. Like, you notice it doesn't really make much sense how, like, sometimes a big movie won't get a sequel? For instance, like Trick or Treat. Granted, the movie's made its money over the years, not when it came out, because I don't think it came out. Like, but you've got movies that are staples like that. I mean, good God, look at Spirit Halloween this year. But then you got like Children of the Corn, where they had to stop making money at a really early point, but they kept making them. Like, it's like somebody's just like, hey, somebody's just like, hey, I kind of like them. I'll just give you a couple. Make another one. Make another one.
I'll give you
like
$5.
I grabbed this Blu-ray at this video store about a couple weeks ago, and I looked at it, and I was like, oh, cool, man. It's Children of the Corn 2, 3, and 4. I was like, oh, shit, this is like 4, 5, 6, 7. I was like, damn, how many did they make? And then at FYE, I saw another one, like Children of the Corn, Genesis. I said, who is fronting this money? This is ridiculous. How many Children of the Corns are? They got to run out of kids eventually. Good God, man. Same thing with Hellraiser. I mean, Christ, man. They had to stop making money after 4. But I'm assuming they did well on the rental stuff. Like, they had to been selling these movies at the stores on tape. You know, I'm sure there's a lot of movies that we probably think bombed, but like the VHS sales are probably sick. I know Maniac Cop, after the research I did, is a great example of that. The movie was a rental store darling, made half its money in theaters, half of it. You know, and then they made the cult status was so big that they made another one, and it bombed in the theaters. So maybe these Children of the Corn movies were people just like, oh, to hell with it. Let's just maybe Children of the Corn was the Chili's. You know how when people you grab a bunch of people, hey, where do you guys want to go out to eat? You go to Chili's when nobody can make up their mind. You grab a Children of the Corn sequel at the video store when nobody can decide what they want to get. Maybe that's it. So they just go ahead to hell with it. Grab Children of the Corn 6. We saw the 5th one. Maybe this will be good, you know.
Have any of you guys seen all of the Children of the Corn movies?
I need to. I'm marathoning them.
Too. I've only seen like the first 6 or 7. I think.
Dude, okay, no BS. I can only comment on the 3rd one because I watched it in that set. I was like, you know what? Damn, this is actually pretty cool. Like, I liked it.
I remember liking that one. It was fun.
But yeah.
Yeah, I need to rewatch those and review them because I've seen them. I think I've seen the first one a couple times, but the other sequels I've only seen once.
That's
Corey,
one of those times.
Yeah.
This is why I haven't done Hellraiser yet on my channel, because I feel like once I commit to one, I gotta commit to all the shitty sequels too.
You'd be surprised. You would be surprised. They have some, dude. The Hellraiser franchise has some mileage.
I've seen them all. I just haven't reviewed them.
I like a lot of those sequels. The only one I hate is Revelations. Like, that seriously is one of the worst things I've ever seen.
Dude, Corey.
Oh my God,
Corey.
So bad.
Derek,
yeah.
I don't know about you, Derek, because I haven't seen you. I don't know if you get Arrow titles, but Corey, if you have not gotten the Children of the Corn Arrow title, if you can still get your hands on it, Corey, it's a fantastic release. Good God, I remember I pre-ordered it.
I want to get the Hellraiser one. I saw that today whenever I was shopping.
Dude, I'm a Hellraiser hoe. I got the Scarlet
grab it, man. We're rocking the Arrow video Hellraiser on Friday.
Dude,
oh nice!
I'm telling you, we're doing a commentary and we're doing a giveaway. We're doing a digital code giveaway at who can come up the after party, who can come up with the best top 5 list. Whoever makes me cackle laugh gets a free digital code of your choosing. I will go through my Blu-ray section because I have so many digital codes, and whoever can make me cackle laugh or hack up and cry with their funniest top 5 will get a free digital code.
We can make it a potluck thing. I got a Halloween 2018 4K code to throw into this.
And Corey, I don't know if you or Derek, I don't know if you guys watched the after party. Dude, the after party of our commentaries are the greatest thing. Because I think Alex is drinking beer the entire time and just doesn't show it because he's off camera half the time. So he's nice and liquored up by the end of the stream. And me and Drew are just like, from being up all day, we're awake, but we're kind of in a dream state. So we had so much fun on the American Werewolf, which, first off, we watched a hell of a movie. And then
that movie's amazing. It's so much fun.
My God, it's so good.
I was talking to Derek earlier about it and about how Colton was saying all those funny top 5s.
And I'm telling y'all right now, I'm making a change right now. I'm admitting it right now. I I don't like to compare them because to me, American Werewolf is a lot more than a wolf movie. It is the best from that year, I gotta say. As much as I love The Howling, I really do. That Arrow set let me see this movie and all it could be. I gotta give it up. I think American Werewolf is in
It
a class of its
destroys
own.
The Howling. Or should I
No, it
say
doesn't. Hey, be fair,
South.
be fair, dude. The Howling, to be fair, The Howling is, dude. Here's the thing: The Howling is a fantastic fucking movie. It's
The
an
last half
exceptional movie.
hour.
No, the entire movie. It's called build up. It's called pacing, Derek. It's called That's fair. Look, that was a shoestring budget, and Joe Dante is a class director. The guy is fantastic. We're talking about Mr. Gremlins, for God's sake, right? The guy knows what he's doing. The werewolves are fantastic, but dude, that American Werewolf movie is much more than just a werewolf movie, dude. It's visually stimulating the entire way through. The effects from Rick Baker are. We're talking about a guy who has just as much talent, if not more, than Tom Savini. As a matter of fact, I think Savini regards Rick Baker as one of the greatest guys he's ever seen with special makeup effects. And that movie looks it looks too good. If you watch that transformation scene, you tell yourself, no. Why does this look better than anything I've seen today? It's that good. It's just that good. So I gotta admit it. As much as I love The Howling, American Werewolf has stolen, for me, probably one of the best movies of that year. If I was to redo top 5 horror movies in 1981, I think American Werewolf would be number one.
Did that just get released again on Arrow? Was it just new release?
My God! Let me tell you something, Corey. Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
If you watch that movie in any way besides that brand new restoration from Arrow, you're doing yourself a disservice. It's not a gimmick. These restorations, I'm telling you, it's not a gimmick. It's not just trying to make you rebuy this movie. You have not seen this, dude. Arrow, these restorations, these Blue Underground things, dude. I'm not buying these to fill up a shelf. I'm not. There's only one way to experience these films, and that's the way they're supposed to be seen. And this is the perfect time to be a fan of classic horror movies because you're seeing them in the way they're supposed to be seen.
I'm glad I got my first Arrow release today. I got Deep Red.
And I need to see that because I'm starting to get my feet wet with Ario, and I'm hearing that's a great title. I'm very picky, man.
Christian, I think you'll appreciate this.
What's up, man?
Oh yeah.
Oh, cool. Hold on. Let me open up my phone.
We're gonna do that one at the end of the month, Derek.
We're gonna live stream.
Blood Rage.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, man. Well, good, Derek. I'm glad to see some Arrow titles, man.
I think I have a lot of Scream Factory, but that's
dude. And dude, here's the thing. I'm not a snob, because look, Arrow is a classier company. They just put a lot of dignity in their releases. I would not want to live in a world without Scream Factory. I love my Scream Factory, and quite honestly, okay, guys, really quick, because I want to know. I know Drew just saw the movie. He loved it. I rewatched Night of the Creeps the other night, and I have never. Dude, Night of the Creeps is as classic as a horror comedy as almost anything I've ever seen. If you guys know I love Return of the Living Dead. Dude, Night of the Creeps has to be a second place for horror comedy. That movie there is nothing I would change about that movie. There is nothing I would change about Night of the Creeps. Tell me it's not one of the funniest, most enjoyable movies you guys have ever seen.
I've never seen it. Now I like it way more than Return of the Living Dead.
That's fair. That's fair. And, Return of the Living Dead is
I don't think there's anything wrong with Return of the Living Dead at all. I love it. I think Night of the Creeps is even better.
I totally see the merit there.
Because you know what Night of the Creeps has that Return of the Living Dead does not?
What's up?
Tom Atkins.
Fair enough. Hey, but you know what Return of the Living Dead has is Clue Gallagher, and they're not the same, but they're two icons. They're two fucking icons of horror. Clue and Tom are. I'm a punk rocker, number one. So that but I don't want this to turn into me defending Return of the Living Dead. But Night of the Creeps is got to be one of the most enjoyable movies I have ever seen. It really is. That movie is so good, and that Blu-ray restoration that they got, It's funny. I have a bare bones, which if we ever do top 5 bare bones Blu-rays, I will put my Night of the Creeps on that list.
Yeah.
But I pop that in, and it looks like crap. It really does. My buddy sent me a bootleg TV version of Night of the Creeps on DVD, and it's got the Sci-Fi logo on it because it played on Sci-Fi in like 1997 or something.
No.
And it's like a weird cut. It's like a television cut. It's got some of the director's cut, and some of it's not in there. But it's interesting because I remember people were like, "Oh my God, there was a director's cut to this." And I was like, "Yeah, man, there's a bunch of crazy shit in there." But who said they never saw Night of the Creeps? Who do I need to? Who's neck?
Hey, are you about to go Drewski on me?
No, I'm not going to go Drewski on you. But you need to see the movie, man. I'm telling you, these are great movies.
I've seen a lot of people reviewing it lately and saying it's good. It's definitely on the list.
Christian, which Dario Argentos have you seen?
Demon. I have not seen Demons. Two Evil Eyes. I just saw that, which was stellar. Which just Two Evil Eyes was enough for me to say. And he did Suspiria, right? That was him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw Suspiria. Which, although I have not a problem with all. I understand the way they made those movies. They didn't even use the audio because they had broken English actors and whatnot. So I understand it. I just was like, oh my God, why did they have to have that happen? But if I said the story and then the visuals of Suspiria were not incredible, and the music, for God's sakes, I'd be an absolute idiot. So I'm not even going to dare say Suspiria is a bad movie. I just remember being not as cultured in low-budget classic horror when I first watched Suspiria because my wife likes it a lot. So she introduced it to me a long time ago. I was like, oh, damn it. Why are they not talking? Why is this like a Godzilla film? Why is it not matching with their mouth? I remember that threw me off. But as I've gotten older, as I've learned to really appreciate what those guys did, I can clearly tell you that Suspiria is probably one of the greatest. I know it's Alice Cooper's favorite horror movie ever.
Oh, it is?
Pretty cool. Yeah, I'm a big Alice Cooper. So, and I love the remake. But that's really about it with Dario. If I've seen something else from his, it's because I don't realize I have. Fulci did one of my favorite movies, Zombie.
I love Zombie.
And New York Ripper.
That means he hasn't seen Opera.
I haven't seen Opera. I haven't seen Phenomena. Like I said, I've avoided it subconsciously. I haven't told myself you're not watching Dario movies. I've just avoided it. I'm an Americana guy. I'm a bread and butter guy. I am a George Romero type of person. I'm a George Romero type of guy. I've always been like that. And I'm telling myself, Christian, stop, Christian. Go get that movie Zombie. Go get it, Christian. Get Zombie. Get this movie. Get the New York Ripper. And I'm loving it. It's fantastic. So I'm excited. It's a great time for me to be able to jump into a lot of these movies, and I can't wait.
Hey, do you guys want to hear what Colton said about Suspiria?
I can't wait. Let this be the grand finale for me. I gotta get going, guys. I gotta get to the shower.
Yeah, this will end it on a good note. He said, okay. I do not like Suspiria. I do not think it's really that good. It's extremely boring, and the only thing I like is the That's hilarious.
He's joking. He's not being serious. I didn't get hold on, please let Drew rebuttal to that. I gotta hear this.
It's nonsense. Let me give you even more to lose your breath at, Christian.
Hold on, let me catch my breath.
He reviewed this movie, and if you don't believe me, I'll link you to it after. He reviewed this movie, and he gave it a 3 out of 4.
Oh.
So he's trolling. Dude, the score for that movie is so creepy.
It's
I would hate to hear that. I would hate to hear that.
It's so good.
I just gotta
and the remake's cool too.
I just gotta make sure that I send this moment to Alex later because he'll lose his mind.
Alex will go. I can picture Alex right now.
You ready to really lose your mind? I haven't seen it yet.
That's fine.
It's on my list though, and the remake both.
The remake's cool, man. I love the remake.
Derek, you need to see Deep Red too. and Opera. They're all Dario Argento movies. They're
I
really
haven't
good.
seen any of his movies.
I
yet.
gotta see those
I'm
two
looking
guys.
forward
I
to
gotta
it.
see them too. I'm gonna pick up the Arrow of Deep Red. It looks like a great addition of the movie.
You know what? I'm gonna
think
pick
it's
up Christian. I think I'm gonna grab the Arrow for Phenomena.
I thought that was is
Cupid.
that a Region B?
Right.
Corey,
'cause
look at the
it's-
comment section.
There was
I
a
need to
chunk
get the-
box
yeah.
for it too.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get the synapse for that because I know it's a mid '80s movie. They got released as something else. I think it was called Creeper in America.
What do you want me to look at, Derek?
Heartbreaker said it got a pity 3 out of 4.
Oh,
Okay, so wait up. Let me tell you. So either Heartbreaker's joking, or he has the most tolerant ranking scale on like. What does the movie have to do to get a 1 out of 4? Because if for Heartbreaker, a movie he thinks is boring gets a 3 out of 4, what gets a 1 out of 4?
Christian, listen to me.
What?
If you were to take the time out of your day to watch all of his reviews, I think you might find 2 movies that are 3 out of 4s, and it never goes lower.
Well, I mean, I hardly ever give D's or F's. I usually always go A, B, C for most movies. It'd have to be a bad movie to be a D or an F for me. I've only given like The Hitcher 2. That's one that I gave a really bad grade to, and the Psycho remake.
I could see those.
All right. Well, on that note, I'm ready to wrap this up, guys. Yep,
I gotta get going. I gotta work early tomorrow.
You don't have
Corey, you've been a gracious host.
I have to wake up at 4:15, y'all.
Oh, I gotta wake up at 1 a.m. I gotta wake up at 1 a.m.
1 a.m. for what?
No, I gotta wake up at 1 a.m. I'm gonna binge. I'm gonna binge Heartbreaker videos for 2 hours and go back to sleep.
Hey, Corey's like, I gotta clock it in 45 minutes.
Corey, I appreciate you hosting the stream. It was a blast.
Oh my god, it's so funny. It's cool finally getting to stream with you, Christian. We hadn't got to stream together yet.
Dude, let me tell you something. Look, here, on the weekend, man, I'm just doing my thing. You know, it's like I make my videos during the week, and on the weekend, it's just like, you know what? I want to do my thing with my wife. I want to hang out. I want to get out. I want to do this. I love doing this because this has been what we're doing right now. I make it part of my schedule. You know. When I told Drew, I was like, dude, if they're going to stream at 7, I'll jump on. I'm going to go jogging, and then I'll stream while I'm jogging. And I don't know if you guys even noticed that. So it's so convenient for me to do a Monday night stream or any weeknight besides Thursdays or Fridays, obviously. And obviously,
for the next one, we'll try to schedule it even more in advance.
I want Heartbreaker on the next stream.
Let's do it.
I want Heartbreaker on the next stream, and I want a Suspiria battle between Heartbreaker and Drew. 3 hour debate. Taj Mahal main event.
So you're saying everybody else is just gonna watch?
Christian, you're saying that like we're gonna get on here and debate our points. Like that's not how it goes with going back and forth with Heartbreaker. There's utter nonsense, and then there's like how much my brain can like function.
Well, dude, he's the Heartbreaker.
Yeah, no, that's what he says. He's the one and only Heartbreaker.
All right. Well, guys, I'm gonna get off of here. It's been a blast.
It's been so much fun. Can't wait to stream with y'all again.
Damn right.
Thanks to everybody who tuned in the comment section.
Yep. Thanks, everybody.
Bye, guys.
See
You
you
guys be good. I'll talk to y'all later.
Bye.